You know, for a completely different intro, we can actually literally start out by saying hello and welcome to Everyday Eternal number 182, your favorite, most deceptively named bi-weekly legacy podcast. Today's show is brought to you by our brand new Patreon, Tristan Mayshark. If you want to support the running of the show directly, you can support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal. Guys, we are back from Prague. One of the many times, I don't know, I want to say Prague's the city I've visited the most in Europe by now. It used to be Milan because they had like a Vinogeddon and tourism stuff and everything. But by now, I think it is Prague. Is it the same for you guys? Like,
yeah,
non-German, basically non-domestic cities for you?
Definitely for me, but not because of magic mostly. I've gone to lots of like music festivals there and stuff. And I've just gone there to visit it. So I think I've been 15-ish times. Maybe, maybe a little bit less, but
for me it's like 7 or 8 maybe.
Okay, yeah. I have been there to play Magic 3 or 4 times, so it is a pretty cool place.
Yeah, didn't Prague almost get like a Grand Prix like every single year? There was like always something in Prague, like either a Legacy, Modern, Limited, all those things.
In southern Germany, we used to say that Prague is basically the German GP every year because they, for many reasons, couldn't do a GP in Germany for a long time, or still can't.
I'm going to go no shit for this because, not really a spoiler because we're going to talk about our Eternal Weekend in a minute, but I think 80+% of the people I played against at Eternal Weekend this year was German. I don't know if it was a bit weird, but I think like 8 or 9 of my opponents in the Legacy main event were German.
Actually, now that you mention it,
and a majority in pre-modern were as well. It was, yeah.
Now that you mention it, I think I did play against also 7 out of 9 rounds or something.
I remember in round 5 of pre-modern, I played against a Czech guy. And I was like, "Oh, that's nice. I haven't played against one of you in ages."
You're a local. Oh yeah, hello.
Yeah,
rare sight.
So there was a lot of Germans there, but it makes sense because it's
maybe a bunch of like Austrians dressed up like Germans, maybe too. Dude, I played against 2 people from Switzerland that weekend.
Oh yeah,
that was wild because I'm just so not familiar with the legacy scene in Switzerland, but apparently there's some like medium-sized communities.
They used to have like pretty big turnouts. I want to say in Zurich, like in southern Germany, right? We had some of them at times, and some of them also did really well. But guys, I have you beat. I played against a guy from Luxembourg.
Oh,
and I always, like when he said he was from Luxembourg, I always wanted to be like weird about it, like, oh wow, like, oh, such a rare sight, like when you see a very rare animal and you wanna not touch it but you wanna observe it, you're like, this is just a guy from Luxembourg, don't be weird about it. I don't know, I get excited when people are from rare places. I almost wanted to ask him like whether there's like other towns other than like the capital, but I thought I was getting really weird.
There's not. It's like 10 meters side to side.
Yeah.
One of our London groups, like very good friends, he lived in London for a long, long time, called Claude. He's from Luxembourg and he's moved back now. And we used to constantly ask him about the Luxembourg Navy and how it's so powerful. So next time, ask him about the Luxembourg Navy.
Hell yeah! Also, shout outs to Ty Wedekind, who just opened a new LGS in Luxembourg, I think earlier this year, and like he's been also like playing Legacy like kind of non-stop, I think, and also participated at the last 4 seasons ELM also.
Wait, how do you get up in the morning? You're like, you know what I should do? Open a store in Luxembourg.
That's pretty cool. I mean, he's already from that area. I think
it is.
Yeah. But like no, like. Yeah, because that dude just gave me another reason to go visit Luxembourg, because I have no information or don't know anything about Luxembourg in general.
Have you ever been there?
No.
I wonder whether we have listeners from there, because sometimes when I check our stats, like we have listeners from really weird places. Oh, weird, you know what I mean, right? Rather rare, I guess. Okay, whatever.
My friend Claude is weird, so it's okay.
Yeah, but sometimes I wonder whether they're just like they're stuck somewhere else and they're using a VPN and they're like, oh, Solomon Islands, that sounds like a good place for a VPN, and then they tune in from that place. I don't know. Maybe that's what's happening.
And so they're going to use a Luxembourg
VPN. Still waiting for our first North Korean to tune to the cast. That's
one day.
Yeah, we will see.
Oh gosh.
You know the meme where allegedly when on the Steam, the Steam where people play games and everything, world map, and you see every player depicted as a light on the map, and then you saw one guy in Pyongyang, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is Kim Jong-un in the Steam account playing Counter-Strike or something." Yeah.
Probably most likely.
I mean, if one man has access in that country, it's him. So
probably most likely. Yeah, that's true. Even though I read a story. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this short. I read a story like 15 years ago, it was a blog of two Austrian guys who gained access to northern North Korea, which sounds weird, I guess, through Russia, because there was like a train line. And basically on both sides of the border, everybody was like, there's no way like an outsider is going to use that train line, because apparently it was like for like workers to travel between the countries, or like honestly like forced work or whatever they did. I can't really imagine like they're just having like voluntary migrant workers. Anyway, so they got on that train, they got into the country, and they traveled all the way across North Korea, all the way to the capital. And shortly after they published their blog stuff, they shut down that line for foreigners. And I would think that would be like quite the adventure.
For sure.
Also, like, imagine like if you streamed Legacy from there or something, like have like a.
That's exactly what we were all thinking, for sure. That's why they shut it down. They're like, fuck Legacy.
That's exactly the reason, right? They couldn't see that.
They hate us because they hate us.
Yeah, Callum, you mentioned you were in Prague almost for the entire week ahead of the tournament, right?
Yeah, so I had a bit of because I'm now in Newcastle. You can fly from Newcastle or from like Edinburgh or from Manchester and stuff, but flying from London is just so much cheaper. Every time I go somewhere, it's basically easier to get the train down to London. So the week before Prague, I was playing a show in Germany, and quite East Germany. So I just thought I needed to come down for a week to London first.
Wait. You played in Bavaria. You cannot go ahead and call Bavaria East Germany. You know, that's just like some rules, okay?
Okay, fine. I forgot. It was someplace in Germany. Germany's just like a small little place. It's fine. And just trying to annoy you now.
I mean, you played North Bavaria. That's not even proper Bavaria. So I guess you can actually go ahead and call it whatever you want. If it's north of the Danube, I don't even care.
I'll be honest, I can't remember on the map where it was. It was like, it had schnitzel and Christmas lights. And
it was pretty close to Nuremberg.
Okay. Yeah. So
Hirscheid or something, right?
Herscheid, yeah.
Oh yeah, you need a deeper voice for the Herscheid.
Herscheid.
Yeah. How are you doing, Herscheid?
I did say that on stage, something like that. Like, just come on, Herscheid. I don't know. Anyway, played a gig in Bavaria on like the Friday before. Had a good festival, getting very drunk and staying up late. And then I was like, rather than fly back to London, stay in London for the week. Otherwise, I'd have to go back to Newcastle on the train and then come back down. I could just stay in Prague. So luckily, I could just work from there. So from Herscheid, I went to Nuremberg, then Nuremberg to Prague. It was 5 hours on the bus. Very, very easy. And then, I was just in Prague for the week. It was lovely. Met up with Vincent and Michelle. So Vincent is Vincent van Gogh, the famous dredge guy. And they were in Prague for the week. I thought
he was like known for his paintings or something.
Vincent van Gogh, the guy. Yes. But our dear Legacy listeners will know Mahfouz van Gogh. That's it.
Oh, we should talk. I remember when I was in Kenya like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
we did that episode from Kenya. And okay,
Kai did.
Kai actually was Kai who should talk to Stack, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
they were in, and his friend Michelle, they were in Prague early. So I met up with them. We went out and met up a bunch of times. We played lots of Legacy in the bars, which is cool. He borrowed my painter deck and just like smashed everyone every game, and then I like lost every game with it. So it was good preparation. But it was just so nice being in Prague for a week, even though I had to stay in working every day. It felt a bit bad, kind of, you've got this beautiful place right outside, but hey, even in the evenings, it was just so nice to go around. So yeah, I was away for a good few weeks from home, so I'm kind of been back this week now. But Prague's
did you join in on the Tomáš Vlaček Prague guide tour or something?
I did, and it was fantastic. So on Friday afternoon, Tomáš Vlaček, he's done it every year for a good few years now, I think, and he's done different parts of Prague. So if anyone doesn't know, Tomáš Vlaček is one of the old like Miracle guys. He helped make it with Julian and Philip Schoeniger and everything. Then he went through a weird Nick Fit phase, and he's a special snowflake these days and builds decks and stuff. But he's an exceptional Legacy player, and he used to be a tour guide in Prague. So he is just bursting with knowledge and enthusiasm for it. So it was a good few hours going around the Old Town Square this time. So we learned about the astronomical clock, the Jewish quarters in the area, and everything around. It's just fascinating. Everywhere you look in Prague, it's just there's stories about the statues and the architecture, the Gothic architecture and the Baroque architecture. It's just amazing. So I don't know. The first time I went there over 10 years ago, it was just, I went on my own for a week and I got lost the first night I was there because I was just looking up at the architecture so much, and I just wandered for hours, just like, oh my God, it's all so cool.
I mean, downtown Prague is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love just being there. Even just like the vibe of everything, right?
Yeah. Every time like friends or family go for the first time, I say, just go to the tourist trap areas. Like the Old Town Square is the place to go first because it's just such an amazing view when you first get there and stuff. And then you can walk around and it's just all great.
And how many players were you on that tour? I mean, there were also like not only players. I think Jarvis even brought his mom, right?
Jarvis wasn't there. He was busy playing Magic with Stefan Schutz.
Oh, that's why people were saying, "Hey, Jarvis, how's your mom?" Okay, yeah, people were like making so many stupid jokes. Okay.
Yeah, no, but his mother was there and she was lovely. And there was 20 of us, I think, maybe just over 20. Good crew, very good crew. No one ran away, no one got lost. It was pretty well behaved. Yeah.
And you didn't get married? Because on one of those tours, a friend of mine actually met his future wife accidentally.
Wow. But so they didn't get married, they just met?
No, they met and then eventually they got married.
Okay.
Yeah,
so maybe in the future I'll get married to someone that was on the tour.
yeah. She wasn't even on the tour. Anyway, that's a different story for a different day, I guess.
But it was cool. Then on Thursday, everyone that I was sharing the Airbnb with arrived, so I kind of moved there. It was the Goblin House. Everyone that was in the house played goblins. I was a fake goblin player because I played goblins in Legacy in my painted deck, kind of. But I play goblins in pre-modern, so I'm only half fake. So that was it was a cool idea to have the Goblin House.
Did you stay like downtown or closer to the venue?
It was in the middle. It was like north, just over the river,
Florence era
downtown. But then, yeah, still a bit of a trek to the venue. But I prefer to be closer to town than not.
Do you know that in that area they do a lot of porn?
That's you told us last time.
Okay. I just told my Airbnb this time because they were asking. Something was weird to them, and I could explain everything because there's porn. And
I'll be honest,
like, it all makes sense.
Why would I go and look for porn if I'm in the Goblin House? I've got goblins there. Like,
right.
What do you need other stuff for? Goblins
what's your favorite goblin like artwork? Oh no, your goblin matron artwork. Yeah, hit me. Okay, anyways.
Obviously, as a saga.
Okay, you shall pass.
Yeah. How about you guys? When did you get in?
Kai, you want to go first? I have no idea when you came in.
Yeah, so after doing my Salvatorix booth at the Eternal Weekend in 2023, I promised myself to play both main events this time in Prague. I remember like last year when I in between rounds I looked at the main hall and I was like, dude, like this could be me. Table, I don't know, 500 or something. I don't know. But like, yeah. So this year I signed up for the main events, and also I teamed up with a couple of people from Berlin, and we drove from Berlin to Prague in about like 4 hours maybe, and we took our Airbnb probably really close to where you were, Callum, because it was like the east part of the old city, kind of.
But you didn't think to say hello? I was just nobody to you.
No, he was just like watching you through the windows.
No, dude, I was
probably next door.
I was just so busy talking to all the porn actors on the street. Yeah,
but they live a little bit further north. That's where I stayed.
Oh shit, yeah.
You lying to me, Kai?
No, because I couldn't find them. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be in the know.
Man, that was kind of weird. Yeah. But no, like it was a good like local players trip. Like all Germans. I think I spoke a lot of German during that weekend too. Because of our company, and I mean, I really missed it, you know, like sitting in the car with like, a couple of friends, you know, for a couple of hours, and like everyone keeps like, you know, hyping up their own deck. And then on the way back, it's all like shit talk about the same decks. You know what I mean? I miss this so much because it used to be like this, like every single time. Like, you know, people going like, dude, I think like I have everything mapped out. I have the perfect sideboard guide. I have the perfect 75. Blah 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 blah. And then on the way back, they're like, dude, I'm gonna sell my collection. Give me your sneak and show cards or something. You know, I don't know.
Force of Will should be banned.
Yeah, dude, I miss this so much. So yeah, it was a great weekend as a player this time. Didn't get to do a lot of sightseeing because we arrived on Friday almost midnight. So we arrived and then, you know, had a couple of hours of sleep and then had to play this like ridiculous 11 round tournament next day. So
we'll get to that in a moment, but that was quite something.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, how was it for you, Julian?
Well, I wasn't even sure whether I was gonna come because like I was feeling kind of under the weather, and I had an option to join an Airbnb, which I basically kept open. I paid for, and then I kept open until the very last moment. And like I guess everybody who met me on the weekend heard that story. Dude, I had the worst toothache of my entire life ever. I almost didn't want to go because it was just like killing me. But then some friends of mine were like, "Come on!" And also like in my head, I'm like, "Yeah." I don't play as much anymore, but I'm still a Legacy player, and this is fucking Eternal Weekend. Like, this is as big as it gets here. Well, I'd regret if I didn't go. So I basically bought out a lifetime supply of ibuprofen and went to Prague. And I'm not even kidding. I think this is a very conservative estimate, but I had something between 4,000 and 5,000 milligrams of ibuprofen every day during the entire weekend, which a friend of mine is actually like I want to say like a paramedic or something. Like he had some harder stuff that he then gave me when he noticed that like I needed more. And it really carried me through the weekend. And I really got to say thank you to so many people, because not everybody, but a lot of people, they also were like, hey, dude, I also got some painkillers here. I got some painkillers there. And I probably got the most toxic mix of painkillers ever, even though everybody told me, like, you can mix them. It's fine. Just don't try too much. And I was like, oh, about that.
Oh, man, bummer, dude.
Yeah, but anyway, so I got on the train. There's like a really good train connection to Prague from Munich. Got there in the evening. We tried to hit all the typical food spots. Of course, all of them were like basically booked out or like super full at that time. And then it's kind of weird. We played 11 rounds, right? Initially we were supposed to play 10 rounds, but then like for many reasons we ended up playing 11 rounds. There's usually, I can tell you what I played in, I don't know, 2010, 2011, how my rounds at big tournaments went. For this tournament, I'm actually literally missing some rounds in my head. Like I think like, what actually happened that round? I kind of like remember my opponent's face. I don't even remember what they played. I don't even remember who won. I guess I can look it up on Melee, but it didn't. And I can really tell. I don't know if painkillers actually do that to you. And if they don't, then I was probably like just imagining it just because the pain was so hard. But
I guess pain makes you concentrate so much that you kind of autopilot in a sense as well.
Yeah, I guess like almost like an out of body experience where you watch yourself like play. Yeah. Anyway, toothache is like the worst you can have. I had the tooth removed shortly after I came back, and that's.
I mean, there might be a connection there, because like one of the main drugs in Berlin for partying is called ketamine, and that's not
only one of the main drugs in Berlin.
Julian's in a K-hole.
I mean, like I mean, I think so. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think that's like a painkiller for horses.
It
not
is.
For, not for humans, but it
absolutely is. It's not a joke.
Right? I think so. Yeah, and so. There are actually
brought some of
doctors,
that stuff.
Dude, there are doctors who smuggle this stuff out of the hospital, to and sell them in front of Berghain, or I don't know.
Well, it used to be.
I like that. I don't know in the end.
Yeah. but you were literally on drugs at the Tung weekend, no? Like if you take
for basically 2.5 days. Like I wanted to stay until Monday, but even on Sunday, I didn't even play anything on Sunday, and I left early on Sunday. But I wanna say, despite all of that shit, I really, really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself so much. I haven't played a lot of tournaments this year, and I certainly haven't played any big tournaments this year, like no Four Seasons or anything. And I'm really happy that I ended up going. I'm really, really happy that I ended up going. I had so much fun. I wasn't feeling Magic Online basically throughout the entire year, so I wasn't really playing a lot. And since I also wasn't playing a lot on paper, I generally wasn't playing a lot. But then when you sit down and you play in paper and you play a deck, like I was playing Painter, right? But when you play Painter, the deck where you constantly have all these angles that you can like try to like get a win in, because your opponent is like trying to defend on this side, but then you're attacking on that side. I still remember like one situation where I was threatening the combo. I was threatening like a lock with Chaos Defiler, and I was threatening just like a beatdown. And also just like a regular grind out some way. And my opponent was like fighting tooth and nail to like try to patch up all these holes that just kept opening up. And as he conceded, he literally said, "It's too much. I can't stop all of it." And I was like, yes, this is exactly the kind of Magic I want to play, right? Just like attacking from all sides.
Fighting tooth and nail, yeah.
Yeah. And Twine at 9 mana, baby. Leveler, and what's the other one you need? Something. And yeah, I want to say, had such a great time. I ended up just short of the money. I think the money was 731. And yeah, I don't want to talk about every round. I just want to talk about that particular end to the game, because I was playing a Painter Mirror against a guy, by the way. I don't remember your name. I think you were Spanish. You watched me play earlier, and we talked a little bit. And then in the penultimate round, we played. And he was so kind to actually tell me that he was also playing Painter, because he knew what I was playing. And I was like, whoa, hey, dude, that's really cool. Like, I respect that so much.
I do too. I think I would do that often in that spot as well. I'd like to say it depends on like vibe of the person when you actually sit down to play. But if you've been talking earlier, especially if it's just you've scouted whatever, that's kind of different. If you're talking earlier and kind of it's obvious, then I would do the same.
Yeah,
Cool.
And that's basically the same for me, right? If I was scouting, playing for top 8 or something, and I wouldn't. But if we were just like hanging out and like talking, it would feel weird if I didn't. But I say that now, right? That I had not been in that position, but the other guy had, and he chose to do it. But so anyway, so Painter, yada yada, game 1, game 2, game 3. Game 3, he gets down the Defiler lock. He literally gets to defile me. He gets to Chaos Defiler me like twice on his turn, and he still can't stop the Grindstone combo on my next turn. We're in turns, like the game is almost about to close. I have the 4th extra turn, and I look at my board. I have a Saga about to pop. The Saga is gonna get Grindstone, and then I have to attack with Goblin Shaman to get the treasure token, which of course gives me +1 mana, and the treasure token turns on Mox Opal, so +2 mana. And I sit there, and I literally can't and I have a land to play, which gives me 4 mana, which I needed. I think I needed to activate Goblin Engineer. Yeah, that was it. And I sit there, and I even planned to do it that way on his turn. And I sit there, and I just can't do it. I look down on everything, and I count, and I don't have enough mana. And I feel like the opponent even asks me, so did you draw the land? And I didn't even need to draw the land. I already had the land. And I just I flash him the land. And he's almost about to scoop. And I'm like, dude, he's so stupid. Like, why would you scoop that? I don't have the mana. But then I was like, should I just like say, kill you and see whether he concedes? And I felt like, no, that's just like shady, right? Because I don't feel like I actually have the kill. So I just sit there and look at it. And I look at my stupid Urza Saga that's about to go off, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna lose that mana from my mana pool if I attack now. But yeah, I get 2 mana in return. I get 2 mana in return. So instead, I get like my second, what's it called, Ghost Vacuum, and try to stop the Chaos Defiler combo, which I kinda do. But of course I can't win, but I'd be happy to take that draw at least, because that draw means if I win the last round, that's still good enough. But no, he kills me. Because he has the 5th extra turn, and he's 2 damage short. I think 1 damage short, actually. And I'm already like ready to take the draw, because I feel like he gave me the vibe that he doesn't have like lightning bolts or something. And yeah, he kills me by using that stupid land that in like 2 years of playing Painter I've never used to do anything.
Sakenzen, baby.
Exactly that one. And
I love it.
That was good enough to take the game. And
Nice.
then he only needed to take the ID in the next round, I believe. And he could finish the money, so I guess he deserved it, because he certainly played better than I did. I had the winner and couldn't even get there.
Oh wow,
That's fair.
so that was like round 10 or 11? No,
It was round 10, and it would have allowed the winner to draw into the prizes or play for a little bit more prizes, which maybe... Like, a lot of people actually didn't do that because it was getting so late that I think I've never seen that many IDs in the very last round, right? Because everybody just wanted to get to 7, 3, and 1 and then go for food, because it was almost like 11.
Yeah, it was almost 11 p.m. We could talk about little slops and props, but 11 rounds in one day was a thing.
Yeah, even 10 rounds is kind of rough, honestly.
Yeah.
But 11 rounds,
ambitious, yeah.
Should I give a quick run through of what I did?
Yes, because actually you started out pretty well, right?
I started out 4-1. Basically, to sum up my event, I went 6-5, and I'm pretty disappointed in that. Not because it's not a great score, but I think my list was really good. I didn't have time to practice it too much, but basically, to give a quick rundown, I bring a list with no Goblin Welders, no Goblin Engineers, and I had lots more fast mana, so 7 Soul Lands, 4 Simian Spirit Guides, and I had 8 main deck Blasts and like 3 main deck Grindstones. And then I was just thinking, like, the format is very fast. Forge is a tough matchup. Reanimated decks are going fast. I'm just going to like try and combo kill quickly. And to help, with that plan, it was either a fast combo or a prison style. So I went with 3 main deck Ensnaring Bridges and 3 Khans, with the 4th Grindstone in the sideboard for Khan. The idea being, again, is, the blue-black decks, as time went on, they were trimming on the Brazen Borrowers. So what was quite stock was 1 Brazen Borrower in the Reanimator deck and 1, sometimes 2 in the Tempo decks. Now, obviously, that number can change, and they usually have a couple in the sideboard. But especially with 8 blasts to protect it, like 1 or 2 Ensnaring Bridge in play was kind of GG game 1 against a lot of these blue-black decks. So I was heavily focusing on that. And obviously 8 blasts is good against the Frog. So I was really, really gunning for that, for the blue-black decks. And it kind of played out that way. I went 4-1 against Blue Black, Reanimator, and Tempo, mostly Reanimator in the tournament. The one loss was in like the third last round or second last round, and my opponent played it differently and very well, in my opinion. He recognized game one. We played a very long grindy game one. He got a Traxxer into play twice and an Archon, but I had the bridge and protected it, and so that was it. But he saw a lot of my deck. I think he worked it out that if that's my setup, then he's not going to beat it with the Baragoyfs and the tempo thing. Mm-hmm. So in both sideboard games, he went like bounce my graveyard interaction, like a Soulguide Lantern or a what's it called, Unlicensed Hearse, and then just go all in, hope that I don't have a Fairy Macabre, and it just kind of worked out twice. And then we had very long grindy games, but he got multiple tracks into play. So anyway, this was so fair play to him. That was the idea for the deck. I had like a sideboard heavy for Forge as well, with the 3 Khans main deck and more fast mana. A quick Khan is very good against them, obviously. And then the sideboard had Void Mirrors as well, so I felt prepared for that. I just didn't play against any Forge. It was there, and I was kind of like overhyping it up in my head in a slightly way, but I thought the matchup was bad enough that I wanted to be ready for it, so I was. The thing is, I just didn't play great.
Well, that doesn't always help, right?
Yeah,
that's a problem.
exactly.
Well, why did you do that? Why did you decide to play well?
It was an interesting decision, wasn't it? The first rounds,
curious.
It's easy to say because I won. The first rounds I did play tight. I played against like Breakfast the first round, and then Reanimated round 2, which is I had very good hands. It was quick and easy over in like 5 minutes. And then I played against Nadu 2 more times the next few rounds. And they were all very close, tight games. And I was playing tight in the morning. And then round 5, had a very fun classic thing of we had a deck check. And the deck check took 10 minutes. And then I lost a sneak and show in 5 minutes. It was some things returnal. A little bit of a slop in this round. As the judge was taking our decks away, they turned my box around, and my opponent said to me, "Oh, I just saw an Ancient Tomb in your box." I was like, "Well, great, right. Thanks." So I half expected them to like say something about their deck, but no. We had a nice chat there; it was fine. But that annoyed me a bit that the judge didn't think to keep it hidden. But shit happens. And then from there, I think I won the next one. So I was 5-1 actually. And then I played a mirror, so I need to tell a story here. It was
you went from 5-1 to 6-5. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
basically, I got hit by a really bad wave of fatigue, and I just I knew it. I went outside to get air, had coffee. I just couldn't go over it for a bit, and I just played sloppy.
It's also like a test of stamina, right? These big tournaments. Yeah. It's not only about like how well did you prepare, but also like how well are you treating yourself during the event.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with stamina usually as well. Like especially playing Warhammer tournaments, it kind of gets you ready for that.
Those are something else. Like I went to one earlier this year. That was just like crazy.
Yeah. So I thought I was good with stamina, but I think I forgot that I've been on holiday-ish for a week. I've been with people out, drinking and eating and just socializing a lot. And I was really drained. I didn't realize it until halfway through. But this painter mirror was against Ethnograph. I've forgotten your actual real name. I'm sorry, mate. But he's very active in the Discord and stuff. And so as soon as the pairings went up, he came running over saying, Callum, we're playing. So I was like, shit. My record in the mirror is so bad. It's not even a joke anymore. It's just like I win once every 5 matches or something in the mirror. But my version should be good. I have Khans. I'm ready for it.
Don't be the guy of like, no, my deck is good in this matchup.
But no.
I beat Jelva all the time.
I'm not, but
okay,
it is better. And so but I'm not saying like, I'm not saying it's better because like I'm cleverer. It's just the way it lined up. I was ready for the mirror as well. Khan is just a huge hammer in the mirror. It wins the mirror. So I thought, okay, I have a chance because I always lose it. So this is my little chance, okay? Anyway, game 1, we both know what we're both on. Game 1, I just keep a risky 1-lander, but it's very good if I hit any other mana source with like multiple fables. And it was in the draw, risky keep, probably should have mulled, but this is where the tiredness maybe kicks in. I'm not sure here, but I don't hit it and I get run over quite quickly. Now, game 2, this is the embarrassing one. We get to a board state where I have Khan on 9, because I want to get out of like Bolt and Fury range. Like if Khan's alive, I can't die to him comboing me. And then he has a Pithing Needle on Grindstone and a Grindstone, and 2 Mountains and a Great Furnace, which is turned off. Nothing else, and a bunch of cards in hand. And then I have a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, okay, well, I can play 2 Painters, and I'm playing around the Abrade that he has up because he's got 2 Mountains up. And then I can just plus on his Pithing Needle and Fury the Pithing Needle because it's a creature. and then grindstone him, and he can't kill 2 painters. If he has double bolt, well, I'll live, because that was going to kill the Khan, and it's still alive. Or try to. So anyway, I do the play, I kill his pithing needle on the grindstone, I grindstone him, and he drops untimely malfunction on the table. And immediately I'm just like, oh my God. So anyone that doesn't know, I know the card exists, I just forgot about it. It's 1 a red. It has 2 modes that are relevant here. And 1 is change the target of target spell or ability to another target. So he redirects this grindstone to me, and I mill out. And it's just like one of those unlosable games, and I just forgot about this card. Khan could have got my coating. I just kill his lands, and then it doesn't matter. But hey, that was the wake up call. I was like, shit, I'm tired. I'm not playing well. That's okay. And then,
honestly, though, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have seen that, I want to say.
Yeah.
Or how common is that card really?
I mean, I had 4 with me in my maybe box.
Okay.
So I have no excuse, really. It was just completely out of my mind.
I'd have totally played into it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if it's not on your mind, I can't kick myself in the game in the moment, but with better preparation, I should have kind of remembered it. Hey. And then, the rest of the day just went on. I lost to Grixis Delver. I lost that, I said, good reanimator player. I beat another reanimator player. And I lost to Eldrazi Stumpy in the last round, which I actively didn't choose to make my deck good against Eldrazi. I had no Blood Moons in the 75 because I thought Eldrazi would be pushed out by the Forge deck and other things. The meta was quite hostile to it, and it didn't do very well, so yeah, that happens. I had some weird games there, but yeah, the fatigue in the middle really hit me. So it's annoying because I thought the deck was really good for the event, but yeah, you have to have a good player as well. So that was my event. How about you, Kai? Oh, sorry.
Well, I think you did better than Vita, didn't you?
I started out terribly, but I had a big comeback. I took Doomsday for this event. For anyone who doesn't know, it's probably my go-to deck for the spin deck, the go-to deck for me for the past 4 years or so. But this time I changed the deck drastically. And added 4 personal tutors, 3 Cabal rituals plus Night's Whisperer, which is a really, really cool thing. If you have a threshold Cabal ritual, you can Doomsday into Night's Whisperer and then do the thing. And there was another cool tech, which is Jay's Field of Mysteries already in the main deck instead of the second Thassa's Oracle, and defense grids in the sideboard. And so my deck, basically for the event, did not run any of the quote-unquote problematic cards of the format, right? No Frog, no Vexing Bauble, none of that.
Oh, but you just played straight up good Doomsday?
Yeah, pretty much fast Doomsday. It was very fast.
I noticed that whenever you're in doubt, you opt for playing it fast and also building it in a very fast style.
Yeah, I think so too. If it's because the meta game is so fast that you have to be this glass cannon deck in game 1, right? And then game 2 you can kind of adapt and do whatever you want. But it was the rounds were over so quickly. I mean mainly because of my deck, I guess, but because of the format in general being just so fast. And in the first round, I got paired against a local friend, against Lucas, who's usually on 4-color alone, but he played Moon Stompy, and Doomsday resolved all 3 games, but in 2 of the games he dropped Magus of the Moon afterwards, and I was
that's my favorite card to drop post Doomsday because they're never ready for it.
Dude, you're just dead in the water, immediately.
Especially since you need double blue, right? That's just so hard to get.
So I do have a second island, which I also brought in, but the problem is you still have to be there's so many things you have to do. You have to beat Mags of the Moon by having additional islands, but you also have to beat Pyroblast effects, so you have to kind of play Cavern, which then gets shut off by Magus, and it's a big riddle. It's a big puzzle, and yeah, and so he got there. So I was already in the 0-1 bracket, but crawled my way back to I think 4-1. I think I was 7-2 at one point, and then I lost a bunch at the beginning, at the end. But I want to point out one specific match which I found really interesting. It was my second loss in round 5 or 6, I think, against our Simargo, I think, on a Mystic Forge So it was the best matchup. Like Mystic Forge, I built my deck to beat Mystic Forge, and I lost like an idiot to it. And so here is a play that actually cost me my game 3, and it's not an obvious one, so that's why I want to tell you about it. So opponents on the play in game number 3, an opponent goes Ancient Tomb, casts a Lotus Petal, casts an Mox Opal, and then puts Vexing Bauble on the stack.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Stop again. So he goes Ancient Tomb,
Lotus Petal, Mox Opal,
Mox Opal.
And then taps his Ancient Tomb for Vexing Bauble. And in my hand, I do have both Force of Will and Force of Negation in hand, and a couple of black cards like Dark Vigil and some other stuff. Right? So I cast Force of Negation, pitch Force of Will, and that play cost me the game. If you can do it, if you can figure this out, you're a fucking genius.
That play cost you the game.
Did he Khan minus it to get it later or something?
You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, because it is so intuitive to cast Force of Negation, pitch Force of Will, because you don't want to lose a life, especially in a deck like Doomsday. And then what ended up happening is that Vexing Bauble got countered. An opponent, I think, like even had like a Grim Monolith or something like that, and I
was actually watching this
right?
game. He had turn 1 Mystic Forge with the Bauble, so you needed 2 counter spells to stop it.
Exactly. And like my hand wasn't bad at all. Like it had the force, and also had like a turn 2 Doomsday, I think, something like that. I even Doomsday, I had to pass the turn, but I also had another Force of Will and a blue card in hand, right? So I was like in prime, quote unquote, prime position, with my opponent having an active Karn. But then he retrieved the Vexing Bauble, and then turn after retrieved Mycos and Lattice, and I needed 2 more forces, and I was just it was like this one tiny miss.
Honestly, I would never have thought of that until you've told this story now. Now we know it's like one of those things that will stay with you, and we know about it.
It's one of those things that actually makes you think about stuff. That's what I always mean is like you have to make a mistake once, and when it happens to you, like on a small stake event, like
untimely
locally,
malfunction.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but well, for you it was like a bigger hit. But
thanks, buddy.
We play these like small events in like Magic Online to make these mistakes there, so we don't make them in Eternal Weekend, or sometimes we make them at Eternal Weekend. That's not that good.
Oh man, yeah, dude, it was such a punch in my gut, really, because I know that those card decks, they don't play many cards that are good versus Doomsday, except Mycos and Lattice, because that just wins the game. But oh man, boy, yeah, that was a really feel bad moment.
That's tough because it is a very small mistake, and again, as Julian says, it's like a mistake you make once, probably.
Yeah, dude, and another round I want to highlight. Oh shit, yeah, round number 9. That was cool too. So I was at 7-2, I think, or 6-2, and I got paired against fucking Philipp Schoeniger.
Oh yeah, shout out to Philipp. Like he came back from the woodworks.
It's so funny. Yeah. So like I know, like I knew Philipp like back in like 2014, I think, when he played like lots of Miracles, and he was a really successful player, right? And I was this like wannabe cool kid with this like 4-color Delver deck, and I was terrible at Legacy back then, and
didn't you make like a top 8 of a GP like a year after or something?
Yeah, but that was a GP. But that was a GP where Philipp didn't play. So
okay,
right.
That doesn't count, right?
But like, yeah, so I see it on my melee pairings, right? It says like Philipp Schoeniger, and I'm like, dude, like this is like the scariest opponent in the entire room. But if he's on a Jeskai control deck, then it's probably also like the easiest match, like scariest opponent and easiest match in the same time. So I was really curious.
But he's playing a better deck than Jeskai, right?
Dude, I sat down and he was on fucking Jeskai Miracles.
Yes.
And not just like some I don't know, I'm gonna throw in like 1 or 2 Triumph of St. Catherine's in this Jeskai Mono 3 drop deck. No, dude, it was literally 2 Jace the Mind Sculptor main deck. Terminus. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, I think he had 2 copies in the main.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude.
I mean, don't laugh at Jace. I think Jace has been actually very good in this metagame with no Lightning Bolts and Delvers. But
but it's like people never change. That's so cool.
It's cool. When he came up to me and told me he was playing Miracles, like the shit-eating grin on his face when he said it was great.
Yeah.
He did well as well. Like I can't remember the score exactly.
The money. He finished the money.
Yeah.
Like we have a chat with all of those guys who went to US in 2014, and he was like talking a lot about like he wants to play his deck and how he's preparing and how he wants to play like all the old stuff. I believe I didn't have a lot of time to read everything, but he was like very excited and very prepared for this tournament.
That's
so
awesome.
it's cool that he also did well. I don't think he's gonna fully commit to Magic again like he used to, but you can tell like the fire never really dies.
As he was leaving, he was like, my last event. And then I said, until next time. And he was like, yeah fair enough.
He does a thing with his brother where they like build legacy decks from 2012. And then they basically build a gauntlet of legacy decks during Christmas, and they play those legacy decks from 2012 against each other all the time.
Oh, that's cool.
Miracles, mirrors.
Oh yeah, people should do this more often. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
But yeah, that was my only control opponent the entire weekend, I think. Everything else was like I had like a huge variety of opponents and decks. I don't think I played against the same deck twice, except the one. I think even like Dimir aggro. It was like Dimir Delver and then Dimir aggro. I guess. I mean they're close enough, but everything else was like a one-off. Yeah, Moonstompy, Cradle Control, Mono Black Helm aggro.
Oh, me too. I also played against Mono Black Helm. I won.
Yeah, like that's a hard matchup for you, Julian, as well.
It's tough, right?
Oh yeah, it has Doughty Voidwalkers. Dude, I hated that so much.
But only the ones from the sideboard.
No, this guy played 4. This guy played 4 in the main deck. I guess that's why I won.
I played the challenge yesterday, just very quick off topic. And I lost to Oops game 2 by going even in Oops all spells now, turn 1 Dark Ritual Douthie, turn 2 Douthie. It's like, fuck.
No.
6 power, easy.
Gosh.
My matchup spread was not as like varied as you guys. I had 5 Dimir. I think they were all Reanimator. 3 Nardus, but they were 3 different versions of Nardus. One was Cord, one was Breakfast, one was Zenith. Then I had Grixis Delver, a friend called Josh from England, London, and then I had Painted Mirror and Eldrazi. Yeah, so lots of blue-black, which is what I wanted, to be fair, so it was okay. That's where lots of my wins come from.
Sweet.
It's all different decks except for around 7 and 9. I played against Mono Red Aggro, which I believe, it's probably going to be Moonstompy. Yeah, Pyroglyph. Oh, dude. It was so funny. Like, one of those Mono Red Aggro players, he was like so nice. But I guess because I wasn't quite there mentally, because I was like, on drugs, I guess, as you guys called it. I think he thought I was like super new to the game. And if he wants to think that about me, and if he doesn't ask about it, it's like, okay, believe that. I mean, that can only work in my favor, I guess. And he was like explaining every single card he played, and I was like, okay,
that's so nice of him.
I know this is a mountain, okay, taps for red mana and everything. And then I think I played a Fury at some point. He gave me like that look, like, didn't I just explain the card to you? And I'm like you look at each other, and I look back in a way of, but I didn't ask for it. It's just like, okay. But I had a lot of fun, like that's really funny. Cool opponents. Also, like I'm going through all of this. In round 8, I played against Kane49. Isn't that like a Magic Online player?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think kind of.
Kane49 says kind of. Maybe I'm misremembering something. So I open up my hand, and my hand is absolutely terrible. It's like I ended up mulliganing it, and I go, this hand is dog shit. Except if I was up against Sneak and Show, which is like, what are the odds, right? Sneak and Show, really, like, nobody really plays that. I know it has like a very small resurgence because it had like, I think, just lands, Chaos Defiler, Bridge, and a Red Blast, and the lands didn't do anything. So I'm like, if this is like, I'm on the draw and this is Sneak Show, like, just like throw in Chaos Defiler, see what happens. But like, nobody plays Sneak Show. He played Sneak Show.
So lucky.
Oh, dude. And he goes turn 2. You know when you feel like you can fight if you just like get one more turn, but then they have the Lotus Petal to activate the sneak attack, and you're like, no, so close.
I had that in my match. It was like game 1. I have 3 main deck bridges. I should be kind of better than usual, but I just didn't find any in the top 20-ish cards. And game 2, I set up for a turn 3 kill with the Soul Guy Lantern, and he had the classic like Pedal plus Ancient Tomb plus Spirit Guide, throw in an Emrakul, and yeah.
For me, he also threw in Emrakul. I took 15 damage. I sacrificed my entire board. And then we played like 12 more turns, and I won. Because nothing ever happened for him.
No, I had an Atraxa thrown at my face the next turn.
Oh, no, not so much here. No, I actually, like, it's one of the worst matchups, but I ended up taking it down 2-0.
Nice.
And, dude, round 9, I played against Steamia Reanimator. The only time I played against Steamia Reanimator in the entire event. And I won 2-1. And do you know how I won? I want to say the second game. Yeah, of course you want to know. You're not going to sit there now, Julian. We don't want to know. Let's move on. This
Actually,
is a podcast, okay? Yeah, whatever, dude. Yeah,
half
it's
interested.
just going to be. Yeah, exactly. So I get down. Like he hits me pretty bad. Like I drop down to pretty low life, and eventually I'm able to get an ensnaring bridge into play. And like it was also a struggle to empty my hand, and I was consciously not drawing extra cards when like I had to manage my life. Because of Ancient Tomb, and I didn't want to draw into something I couldn't cast or like would drop even lower. But I managed to slowly establish my board because I was literally basically sacrificing everything I had to just like throw out that Hail Mary bridge and try to stabilize. And turns out he really he had outs. I think he plays 2 copies. He has 1 Archon of Cruelty, which I guess he could use to drain me at some point. And he also has 2 copies. I'm actually looking at the deck list right now. 2 copies of Brazen Borrower. He also had Elish Norn, lol. I think I managed to actually beat Elish Norn. Yeah, dude, I managed. Okay, I'm jumping from topic to topic. See, now I'm getting excited again. Now that I played a big tournament again, the excitement is really coming back for these small things. Anyway, so I won game 2 by just going end of turn, grindstone you. My turn, draw, land, whatever, pass, grindstone. At some point, I milled 12 or 14 cards on the grindstone because they were all blue. And one of them was a Brazen Borrower, and I'm not sure that I maybe had hit. No, I think there was still a second copy in there, but at some point he just conceded. Maybe he sided one out, which I don't think he would, but
this has happened a ton with me online recently, where like I either get a second bridge in play game 1, or like I counter a borrower, or like mill it with a grindstone, and they just concede because they know, and I kind of know, you can tell by the F6s. Like I played the challenge yesterday, and I natural milled out 3 people just with a grindstone because you just chill, sit behind a bridge. It's cool.
Just chill, yeah.
Yeah, you just grindstone them. It's very
Some people
fair
chill, like,
magic.
Under a bridge, you chill behind the bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably also like how grindstone used to be, right? Like they probably designed this card as like this like millstone card.
Yeah, but is millstone or grindstone better? Millstone, when it's in play, costs 2 mana to activate.
It is the same card.
Sure. But yeah.
Corporate needs you to find the difference between these 2 cards. Which, yeah. And also, like, the third game, he gets Elish Norn into play, and I literally just race Elish Norn with 2 constructs because I have too many artifacts, and like Elish Norn, whatever, dude, I don't care. Like, Elish Norn can't even attack, Elish Norn can't even block at some point. Just like, the card doesn't matter.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah.
I was about to say, okay, you probably just play Painter, and it's a -1/1, but fine. Few constructs work as well.
No, I love Construct so much because people, they don't really think about Painter as a beatdown deck, just how they didn't really think about Elves as a beatdown deck, and then you always get them on that, not I wish always, but not always, on that strategic level, and they're not ready for it, and then they suffer, and it's like, good when the opponent suffers. That's all. It's best.
What do you think? Like how was your ratio between like combo kills and beatdown kills this weekend?
I had a couple more combo kills than I usually do, so I want to say like a third of the matches were like combo kills. But it's also kind of hard to say sometimes because the opponent sacrifices all their resources to stop the combo, and then then that's not a combo kill will, I guess, but the combo enabled.
I think a lot of players are pretty familiar with Painter these days. Like, it's been fairly high up in the meta for a year or so now, and I think people know that. But this is the strength of the deck. As you say, it really stretches people's everything thin. Like, if they're trying to react to what you're doing, you put them in a squeeze, and you you play towards whatever they seem weakest to. So this is why you win with like combo more than you quote unquote should, because you tax all their removal with the constructs and with the goblins and stuff. And then at the end of when the dust settles, you just play a Painter and activate Grindstone. But it's the fair side that kind of opens the doors to the combo quite a lot of the time as well.
Very much so, yeah. So even though when you get the beatdown or the beatdown win, sometimes you feel like I got the beatdown win very much because of the potential combo win. And yeah, so sometimes they can no longer respect the combo because of the beatdown, and then you get them on the combo win after they stop the beatdown. And then once again, like, did I win by combo or by beatdown? Like, it's basically both. So
I think
I guess the striker scores the goal, but the midfielder sets it up.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. The constructs of the midfielders.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Engineers like passing to the striker. Welder is just everywhere doing everything.
And Pavlas is the goalkeeper.
Yeah, true.
Or Bridge
is the goalkeeper. Interestingly, I think I had a mix of like probably 2/3 were combo kills because the deck was set up to do that, and then the other third was just people conceding to like Bridges and Khan and like coating their lands, just playing prison. So they're just like, yeah, fuck this. I mean, they probably would die to either the combo or beat down eventually, but they're just like, I can never get a land and play again, so it's done.
So I'm going through my matches right now. I played against a mono white initiative deck, and dude, that guy was really, really nice. And I don't know, there's like a consistent pattern, because I think that guy also thought that I wasn't really like a regular legacy player or something. There must have been something about me.
You had a vibe going on that day.
I think I really did have some kind of vibe going on that day. And I'm like, no. He's like, oh, I'm playing a deck you probably haven't seen before. And then like he goes, I think like Season Dungeony or something. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that. And he's like, oh, okay. And then we keep playing. And then he's like, okay, now this card you probably haven't seen before. And then he goes, Anointed Peacekeeper. I'm like, and he turns it around to show me like, no, I know what it does.
That was the format for a year, buddy.
Yeah.
Dude, I told him this was like the biggest deck in the format for a year. And he was like, and eventually he like plays another card, and he's like, oh yeah, this is a really unusual card. It's like Brutal Cathar, which I guess is slightly less common, but still I just like had such a good time. Actually, let me look up who won. Oh, he won 2-1. Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, old school beating the new guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
He was probably just trying to be nice. We shouldn't rag too much, but
no, that's what I'm saying. Like he was like really. I think he was actually the guy from Luxembourg.
Okay,
and it's just like so funny to me that I think I really gave off that vibe of like, dude, what are you even trying to do?
Kai, should we tell him that like he gives this vibe while we podcast
all the time?
So Julian, this is Brainstorm. You can use it with fetch lands. We call it the perfect brainstorm.
No, that's worse than Dream Cache. I like Dream Cache more.
Fair enough.
Dude, in the first round of lands against Band Nadu. Oh god. And I was able to needle Nomads and Core, and basically I had the win ready, right? Kinda. And I'm very conscious that he could have Safekeeper, but I needle Nomads and Core because it's like the much better enabler. And he ends up having Green Sun Zenith, which is the card I actually thought he might have, but I felt like, yeah, but like I'd rather hard stop the thing that hard kills me than to like soft stop the thing that he might have. And yeah, anyway, he ended up safekeepering through his almost entire deck and get like a Cradle and a Natural Order. And when he doesn't go for it, I can literally tell the last cards in his hand are like Behemoth and Atraxa, but he doesn't have enough mana to cast either. And yeah, like I haven't really seen him go off with Safekeeper all that much, but he eventually actually makes it work. It was kind of impressive. And I also gotta say, I don't really feel like it took that long, because I've seen people complain about like Nadu wasting a lot of time. Maybe my opponent was just like very skilled and fast, because it didn't feel like it took forever for him.
It's a mix. If you're new to the deck or not super familiar with it, or like you haven't practiced it, it will be very slow, especially the Safekeeper one, because you need to hold priority and stuff. But because that was a thing in Modern as well, it's been around for since whenever Modern Horizon 3 came out. So yeah, my Nadu opponents, all three were all very fast at the decks as well. So yeah, they know it at least. But I think Nadu in that respect is kind of like top, where the fast players were fine, the slower players are a problem. And yeah.
Mm. I'm looking at all these matches that I played, and slowly the memories are coming back. By the way, shout out to Pau Perez. That was the guy who told me that he also was on Painter, who ended up killing me with I've already like Sokkensen or whatever it was called. Yeah,
Crucible.
But overall, like honestly, I had such a great time. Yeah. I almost want to say I want to do it again. It's gonna be another year.
I am dying to do it again. So I hope my report of my little thing didn't come across too negatively. Like apart from the slump in the middle, I left it being like, fuck, I just want to do it again. I want to have another chance. Like, I cannot wait for next year now. The whole weekend was fun. It was going out and seeing so many friends again, so many people. Yeah, I'm dying for next year now. So bring it on.
Same buddy.
Yeah. That was like the one aspect I was kind of missing, because I didn't really have time, or also like because of like my toothache, really feel like I socialized as much as I usually do at these tournaments. Usually also like I arrive a day earlier, like on Thursday kind of, then stay until Monday. And here it was like a very quick in and out.
Yeah,
and
I didn't see a ton of you.
Yeah.
You just took cards off me and threw me to the side.
I think what did I take off you? I took
Phyrexian
Devourer off you.
Devourer.
Yeah. So some people are like really confused by that card. And I think I won one game where I hard cast it.
Nice.
And I never get to actually use the ability for value because a lot of times it's just like the one extra body that I need for blockers or for attackers. But sometimes I want to just like spin the wheel.
You're not meant to do that, but
yeah, I know. But sometimes it's the best way to get into the graveyard.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. Yeah.
Cool. So Kai, did you end up in the money?
Yeah, I think I did the very last round. It was a long day. I think I was one of those like 7-3 players, and the moment I sat down, like the whole row started to like ID shake. Like everyone was just so done playing Magic after 10 rounds, I think. And so we quickly shook hands. I asked him what his deck was. He said he was Lance. I said I was Doomsday. He seemed to be he seemed to be really happy because it was not even Sphere Lance. It was like a Celestia build with Swords of Plowshares in the main, and he's like, "Oh gosh, dude. Okay, I'm out of here."
You already agreed.
Yeah. So it was the last 11th round was only a real round for people in contention for top 16, 8 and stuff like that, right?
Oh, you played against Matteo. I'm looking up your results. You actually played against Matteo Blasi.
Oh man, dude, that was my down.
You played against Philip, then Matteo Blasi.
Yeah, dude, that was my ultimate downfall, really.
These two hate each other as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because no, that was I was 7-2. So was Matteo. I saw the pairings, and I gotta say, like my win rate against Matteo is like below 0%. Like I cannot
doesn't even work. Like you lose even if you don't play.
I like the moment I see the pairings, I already lost, kind of thing. I just felt because he's like one, if not the best legacy player from Italy, and he plays Froginator, which is already a bad matchup for me. So, and I miraculously even resolved Doomsday in game number 2. He didn't have a counter. He also didn't have much except the card Reanimate and like a pawn there or something. And then I passed turn. He top decks Entomb like a pro and Atraxas and then and fun stuff. And I quickly die, but. Yeah, that was really unfortunate. I mean, good. It was good for him because I think he ended up being 10th or 11th, I think, in the Swiss. Just quickly,
I think he was 11th.
Kind of missed top 8 there, but I think he was one of the best X and 2 record players. So
yeah, he's just a killer. Like he's the current European Legacy champion as well.
Yeah, what should I do? And I was like sitting next to like Rodrigo Togores and and a couple of other guys. Like, dude, like the top tables were definitely stacked.
Dude, one of those guys, one of the rounds I played, I was sitting across from a guy I didn't know, and I think he was maybe new, but he was like pretty deep into the tournament. And left of him is Rodrigo, and right of him is Mark Vogt. And then I tell the three to lean together, and I take a picture, and he's like, "Why did we take a picture?" I'm like, "You're just like sitting next to 2 Legacy GP champions. One of them who actually won in this town like 8 years ago."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this tournament was pretty stacked. Also, like when you look at the results and everything.
Oh, dude, definitely. Do we wanna shout out the top 8 here?
No, we want to shout out like the top 5 or something.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so we had 832 players, which by the way it grew by more than 10% from the last year, which had 713 players. And yeah, where do we start? I think in first place we got Larsson. Unfortunately, we don't have the full name because it's
Johan Larsson.
Johan Larsson, right?
Yeah.
I think I remember that, yeah. On Straight Up Cephalid Breakfast, it's just like when I started playing Legacy, Cephalid Breakfast was one of the premier combo decks, but it quickly deteriorated into like kind of like the meme. I used to joke about how it's the combo deck that loses to graveyard hate, creature removal, and counter spells. And
now you play Painter.
And here we are. Cephalid Breakfast takes first place.
Yeah,
second place.
So anyone that doesn't know, Johan plays as Larsson on Magic Online, and he always crushes me. He's so good. So a well-deserved win.
But what do you do like as a hobby? Oh, I like to crush Callum.
Yeah. I don't remember winning against him, but hey, ever.
Looking at the deck list right now, that's the Memories Journey. I kind of missed that tech, but it makes sense to me. So I guess that's another idea to beat Graveyard Hate.
It's kind of to beat Graveyard Hate. It does so many things, but it's extra to beat Vexing Warble.
Target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library. Oh, because you can't dread return, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, which it's really, so I think it's common in Oops as well. I think it does so much more in Oops because you bring back Poxhawk and stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Memories Journey leave the breakfast decks now with Vexing Bubble Band, but we'll get to that soon, I guess.
Yeah.
And also, it also randomly fucks with Doomsday players too, dude, which I hate.
Dude, and Painter, they just upkeep the Memories Journey after you mill them.
Oh, dude, that's fucking brutal.
Yeah, it is.
They get triple Vampiric Tutor before they die. That's like their own mini Doomsday.
Yeah, well, they just put Oracle back and play it.
Yeah, but if they do it, that's even better.
Or if they think you have a blast, you just put Cavern and hit it back. Yeah, it's shitty card. Don't play it. No one likes it.
So second place we got Rafael Werder. I think he's part of the winner duel crew from Tübingen, right?
Absolutely,
yes.
Yeah. A big shout out to the guys. I remember Rafael is one of the legacy quote unquote experts when I started out in 2013, 14. He was already big in the game. He's always been brewing mid-range decks since.
Just to add to this very quickly, when I was watching the finals, some of his friends next to us told me his name is Dr. Homebrew or Mr. Homebrew or something. So he's known as a brewer.
Yeah, dude.
And this deck doesn't disappoint.
And if there's one message he wants to get across here, it's huh?
So, yeah, no, go ahead. I just saw this.
Dude, people should give homebrews a chance, really. I think this deck list is so absolute wild and has so many one-offs and quote unquote fun-offs kind of. They look like fun-offs to me, but it all worked together and
it's got okay, so we're talking about Esper control. It's got 1 daze, 1 Spell Pierce, 1 Void Rend, which I believe is the Vindicate, right?
3 mana uncountable Vindicate for Esper colors. Non-land.
And it cycles, yeah, that's the one. It's got 1 pest control, 1 Lorien revealed. And you know what made me laugh when you said this is the ultimate brewer homebrew deck? I looked at the deck list. No, I looked at the deck list. In my head, I was like, this kind of deck always plays 61 cards. And I look up main deck 61, yes, got it.
I mean, my favorite is there's no card to cut, and there's 2 Gaia Reach Sanitarium.
Ooh,
yeah, dude.
He also got that Stays Undoing, and then I guess he enlarged that engine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny when you call it an engine. It's actually like an atomic bomb.
But this is it's a control deck, which I never really like Narset in the Jeskai decks and stuff, but when you use Narset as a combo tool and an end game to play towards, that's where I think it's actually quite powerful. Because with 2 Days Undoing to twin them in a sense, and then Gaia Reach Sanitarium. For anyone that doesn't remember this land, it's a legendary land. So this is why the 2 copies made me laugh. But I think as an endgame, it makes sense. You tap it for a colorless, or 2 tap it. Each player draws a card, then discards a card. So with a Narset in play, if your opponent is empty-handed, this is just a lock, unless they have Instance, which you could probably turn off with Teferi if you play it. No, but anyway, in their draw step, you activate the Gaia Reach Sanitarium, and they can't draw a second card because they've already drawn one because the Narset prevents it, and then they discard the card they've drawn for the turn. So
unless they have Timeless Dragon like he does.
True, yeah. So they can play Instance or they can do graveyard stuff, but yeah. The other thing I love is one of the sideboard choices is, the sideboard again is 3 2-ofs, then loads of 1-ofs, classic, but diversifying is always good. I love Damping Matrix. This is a really heads-up read on the metagame. So Damping Matrix is from Mirrodin. It costs 3 mana, so a bit expensive, but activated abilities of artifacts and creatures can't be played unless they're mana abilities. So this is with Nomads and Core and Nardu in mind, and it's like a Null Rod. So it's going to you double up in all the things. So I think, hating on both those 2 decks, they're probably 2 of the 3 top decks. So this card I've not seen for a long, long time, but it's a cool one.
Yeah, definitely. A little hard to cast. Maybe it's 3 mana. It's quite clunky, but
it is. But at the same time, his deck is so interactive. So I think he's going to get there. You wouldn't want to play this in a deck that didn't have as much interaction, but I think he gets there against these decks.
It's also interesting that he chose this over Cursed Totem, right? So the extra mana is worth it to also shut down the artifacts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And then 2 Triumph in the sideboard, Wrath of the Skies, Thoughtseize, Stony Silence, Rest in Peace, Grafdigger's Cage, Ghost Vacuum, Force of Negation.
Yeah.
Even if I was playing against this with like open deck lists, I'm like, what the hell? I don't know.
How am I supposed to play?
It's such a mix of stuff because then again in the main deck you have counter magic and removal and.
Oh, dude, there's also like actual factual counterspell in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
The one-off, loving it.
I mean, like most of the, at this point, like I'm asking myself, like, dude, like, don't we want to run a loot tree in this deck? It's just so many one-offs.
I was looking for the gifts ungiven. Dude, that deck is cool.
Yeah.
That deck is gas. This also looks like the kind of deck that people used to just like, you used to call this like trade binder control.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Another thing I love is 3 Ponder. Don't laugh, like legit, because I think Ponder has just been really suffering in the format recently, which is fine because it's really good. But the format is so fast. Ponder is kind of feeling the worst it has done for a couple of years. So you don't want to be playing Ponder turn 1 with these kind of decks, really. You want to be, I guess you want to find a Force of Will, so it's not completely true. It's still a good card, but you want to be Thought Seizing or Spell Piercing or Push or Swordsing or something. You want to be doing something more proactive or actually interacting rather than finding the cards. So
yeah. Turn 1 is basically the worst turn to ever play Ponder. I mean, sometimes you have to, like, it can be the best play in the moment, but in the abstract, it's the worst turn to play Ponder.
Yeah,
usually.
Probably. Like, you either should know if you're looking for lands, or if you don't in the matchup, or Force of Will, I guess, but yeah. Yeah, so well done to Raphael. Awesome finish for a brew, and I love to see it.
Also, just like having the balls to show up with a deck like this, at Eternal Weekend. It's not like you have an event like this like every other day.
Like, I think at some point you get to an age where you just don't give a fuck anymore. And I'm not too far from that.
Man, dude. Yeah, what a king move, honestly. Yeah, dude, like, because I want people like Raphael to succeed with decks like these, like, because it's just so old school to just not give a shit about what's going on right now in Legacy and just build something that's with your own brain. And like I'd assume that like all of these singleton cards in his main sideboard have like a particular reason. He has like a lot of like crazy sideboard mappings and stuff because the cards are so useful in multiple matchups, I think. So
I love the one-off days whenever I played these kind of like blue control decks as well. Like, people just don't see it coming, and you can't draw 2 because you just have the 1, and it's good to bounce your surveil lands now and stuff. I love it. I think it's good.
So in third place, we got Edward Yu. And Edward is like really, really cool. I got to speak to Edward and I think around round 4 or 5, and I think he was still undefeated. And he's actually from Vancouver, Canada, and he's a friend of our alleged co-host Matt Pavlik that shows up like every 3 or 4 years. Actually, Matt wanted to come on the show this week, but we were recording today, not in 2 days, and he was busy pulling teeth. I could have used him in Prague. But yeah, Edward, amazing guy, absolutely great guy. Super happy to see him top 8. So Edward, if you're listening to this, keep going, keep getting more of those sweet Eternal Weekend top 8s. And Edward played, well, I guess people call this like Elves Nadu because there's like 5 elves or something in it. Does that justify it? It has natural order, it has 4 cradle.
I've been kind of identifying it as the Chord Nadu deck.
Chord Nadu, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I don't know if that's what people are actually calling it, but it kind of makes sense to me. I think this is like one of the front runners for one of the best decks in the format coming up next.
Especially now, right?
Yeah. I mean, it might have more targeted hate, like what is it called, Grafdigger's Cage and stuff, but I think this deck is incredibly powerful.
Also, like, you look at it and it plays like 4 Birds of Paradise, 4 Noble Hierarch. Oh, 4 Green Sun Senate. You have like 12 accelerators. You have 4 Gaia's Cradle. Oh,
this is for you.
This deck.
It's like old elves. It's just the 2024 version of elves.
Yeah, it's just like old elves, but bullshit, but great, and like plays lots of cards.
It's very bullshit. Yeah, like. I mean, we'll get to it soon, but I think Nadu will be banned in 3 months, so enjoy it while you can.
By the way, Callum, you won our bet. I said that Frog will be banned, but it will not be banned in December. And turns out Frog has been banned in December, so you were right.
I forgot about that.
I didn't.
I said the card was good, and then I said it get banned.
Yeah. I agreed it would get banned. I just thought it would take another like month or 2.
You shouldn't have said that because I'd completely forgotten about it.
Yeah, well, there we go. Court of Calling, dude. You can pull off so many amazing things with Court of Calling just because of the instant speed and the convoke and everything.
It also plays so well with Springheart Nantaku. Like you fight the
because
board
you get
with
the extra
insects.
tokens.
Yeah. And like again, it is the best tutor for Nomads in Core in Legacy. I think it's better than
Living Wish.
Yeah. Because like as soon as these lists started coming out, like the moment I saw the list, I saw people in Discords and stuff saying, "Oh, Cord is not a Legacy playable card," and I was like, oh, "It totally is." I mean, it's a powerful thing. If people heavily target this deck, then yeah, like Containment Priest or Graphic Cage is good against this. And it also can be weak to, an early Fury wiping your creatures and stuff. Yeah, it has some downsides, but you can still go like 3 mana, get a Dryad Arbor end of turn, and then like untap and do things.
You know what I wonder? I'm looking at the sideboard right now, and I'm seeing like 1 Prismatic Ending. And initially I was like, that's such an odd choice. But now I'm wondering, is the idea that sometimes you can't win, even if you draw your entire deck, but then you have the 1 Prismatic Ending that you will eventually draw, and that will solve the problem, and then you win? Like,
yeah, you could loop it. So the way the deck will work is once you have Nomads and Nadu in play, you can keep evoking endurances and like keep drawing your deck. And so you can generate, I think you can generate infinite mana and go through your whole deck. So that could just exile every permanent as well. Like I played against Tristan Pulse on this deck in the main event, and game 2 he'd won.
Wait, Tristan's still a thing?
Yeah.
Those French guys, they used to like dominate a lot of Europe, especially Bazar Moxon.
I tried to be chatty and I said like, late congrats on the second GP, but he was just like, I should not play, so it's fine. But game 2, it was a fun interaction where he'd won, and I just said like, you've won. Tell me how you're going to kill me. So I just want a little bit more information. And he said he's going to loop Endurance so he can draw his whole deck, and then he's going to put a Springheart Nantaku on a Noble Hierarch. He's going to make 20 Noble Hierarchs and attack under my bridge. I was like, yeah, fair enough. It was pretty cool. So,
oh, that's amazing.
But I guess, yeah, with one-off copies of stuff, you can play it multiple times. I think that's how it works. Someone's going to tell me I'm stupid afterwards.
Kind of want to play this deck now.
It's quite you. I think you should.
Yeah. I'm looking at $6,700. I could buy the camera and the lens I want.
Do you not have the cradles anymore?
No. But
you can play it on Magic Online. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, great player, amazing deck.
Yeah,
and
congratulations.
Really cool. Also, 4th place, Kai. You want to introduce this guy because this guy keeps getting more and more Eternal Weekend top 8s, and I think you know him pretty well.
Yeah. I'm Hanlin. He's also from Berlin, like a local Legacy player. I think he top 8'd last year in Japan. I think with a control deck. And now he's back with Ad Nauseam Tendrils, and I didn't take his deck very seriously. Like last month when we played against each other in our locals, and he said, he might actually take this deck to Eternal Weekend, and I said, look, it's a free country, you can do whatever you want, right? But I don't know if this deck has aged well, but at the same time, like there's just not a lot of hate against this deck in particular. I think. Like Consigned to Memory is a joke. You can simply go Past in Flames, the rest all their consigns, and then
Oh, that's the classic. How does Anne ever be a stifle?
Yeah, dude. It's magic. Magic. Yeah. And but the thing I didn't know about this, I was always under the assumption that Ad Nauseam Tendrils cannot beat the One Ring, because they give protection for a whole turn, right? And it's basically a time walk, but. There's fucking Torment of Hailfire.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the card right now.
And this is a Commander all-time staple. I think it's probably like in the top 30 Commander playable cards in Mono Black. It's like this black X sorcery. Repeat the following process X times. Each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. So like this is such a ridiculous tech. To go under the One Ring, because it says like each opponent, it doesn't target.
Love it.
What a great card. I gotta ask him though, like how often it actually came up, because like I don't even know like how much do you have to pay for X to be to be lethal? Because
the thing is, like when you play against the Forge decks, they're gonna have a ton of permanents.
Exactly.
But on the other side, they're probably not gonna have a lot of life between like Ring and Ancient Tomb and everything. So.
Maybe.
Yeah,
but like with Past in Flames, you must generate so much mana if you're getting to this. But it's kind of like the old high tide decks where you did Brain Freeze, but you Blue Sun Zenith your opponent with like I don't know, like 400 mana or so, and it's kind of like the same thing. But yeah,
Otherwise, like the deck is the list is really stock. Like Surveillance obviously got added to the deck. Radar Filth, one of my absolute favorites. I also used to run this deck when I top 8'd that Legacy GP Kyoto.
I mean, people used to say that's like the fifth copy of Dark Ritual, right?
Dude, I love this card so much. And it's also so ridiculous of how synergistic with Cabal Ritual too. Because you get Threshold, Threshold on turn 2 if you want. Like, no problem. Yeah, overall pretty cool deck. He told me that a bunch of his opponents made like crucial mistakes, even in the higher tables, because people are not used to ad nauseam tendrils anymore.
So, like what?
Oh, like for example, like countering the wrong cards, right? Like that's like one of the strengths of this
Lotus
deck,
Battle,
I think.
not in my house.
But like, yeah, like situations like I don't know. I think Han Lin he cast a bunch of rituals and LED, and then cast Infernal Tutor, cracks his LED, but he also discards Past in Flames, and then opponents immediately force will the Infernal Tutor. When they could have also like waited for the card that Tutor actually gets, and get more info and.
Well, it probably gets a duress, but.
Right, but it was.
I guess it's more mana then.
It was but like.
Because they counter this, then he doesn't have to get the duress. He can get a Dark Ritual. Yeah.
Exactly, and like it was this one particular game where the opponent he needed his opponent to counter the Infernal Tutor, because otherwise, like if he gets a duress, then he doesn't have enough mana to flashback Past in Flames and. Stuff like that, right?
I love when I hear these stories of players making this play that relies on the opponent making a mistake. It's such a psych thing.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
So cool. Like there's the classic Adam Prozac one from an SCG years ago. He needs the opponent to cast a surgical in his hand that he knows about, and he completely baits it with command rituals.
Oh, dude, I remember that video. Yeah. That was.
There's probably other examples, but it's every time I see Ant do well, I'm like, damn, this is the coolest deck in the world.
Yeah, dude,
it's so cool.
I mean, and this is like another one of those like I don't really give a shit about what's going on in Legacy right now. I'm just gonna play this deck and it's pretty good. I'm good at Storm. Let's go, kind of thing.
Remember, it's kind of funny you called this ANT, and on MTG Top 8 it's labeled as TES, and I actually know this deck as TNT.
Oh shit,
TNTs.
Burning Wish, yeah.
Oh, right. This is like what Timo Schünemann used in like 2012 in Ghent to win the GP against Lucas Mora.
It is such an old school list. It is like that. Yeah. Very cool.
Like TES and Cable Ritual don't really mix. So somewhere somebody's spinning. Anyway, fifth place rather. That is my friend Jan Lenger. And dude, Jan, he just like keeps getting more and more Eternal Weekend top 8. There was a time when we both
third, I think.
Yeah, it's the third, right? Jan and I, we got our shared top 8 in Paris a couple of years ago. And from there, we stopped, and Jan just kept getting more. I think he has like 3 legacy top 8s now. It's just like he's not stopping. Also, you don't, I feel like I don't really see him at like any of the big events, even like in the results or if I go there. But then he always shows up for Eternal Weekend. He's like, yeah, okay, let's get to top 8 and then we see what happens.
Because I don't think he plays online much either. But like I talked to him at this event a little bit afterwards and said congratulations and stuff. And he clearly puts in a ton of work on the list and like has the sideboard plans worked out, and he knows the deck inside out, and he just puts in so much prep for it. He reminds me of what like Brian Koval does as well. I think they both prep so much for events, and it clearly pays off. So yeah, Jan is a clear example of obviously very, very, very good at Magic as well, but preparation is a killer, and he played a great deck.
And he also got the one-off prismatic ending in the sideboard. So there must be something to it, like you explained, right? You can just like loop it.
So he's also playing the Cord Nadu deck. Like
Cord Nadu deck. Yeah. He's got 3 copies of Once Upon a Time, which Edward doesn't have, I believe. Let me check again.
Yeah, they look different, these 2 lists.
Somewhat. Not too much, but somewhat, yeah. But he's also got 4 Birds of Paradise. Dude, I just want like 4 original printing black bordered English Birds of Paradise, which I guess is then pretty expensive.
Best I could do is some conspiracy ones.
I'd rather play like, I don't know, something else.
I gotta go out there and say 7th edition is my favorite artwork, enough that I'd play white border.
I used to have foil 7th edition Birds of Paradise, and they were in the binder that I lost.
No.
Yeah. Of all the things that were in that binder, that's the card I missed the most. Not like, I guess also financially, but not even because of that. Just because that was the most beautiful card I ever owned. Yeah. And one of the very, very rare exceptions where I want the the foil, not from the original printing. But I guess it's kind of hard to get the original printing foil, but you get the idea, right? I want the original artwork. I guess you can get the original printing in foil as well. I'm pretty sure there's something, but I forgot about it. Anyway, so yeah, Jan, really, really good. Made it all the way to 5th place, and he's got a Gilded Drake in the sideboard, loving it. Dude, call of calling for Gilded Drake to just like completely break up something.
I think he told me he did that against an Archon, or someone told me they did it against an Archon. It's legit, totally.
Loving it. That's great. So yeah, Jan, keep doing what you're doing. The only consistent thing about him is just he always wants to play for Gaia's Cradle. He used to like. There's a lot of people knew me as the Elves guy. There were so many Elves guys before me, and they are still the Elves guys, and he's one of them. He's just
you can tell his old cards because his old Elves deck was all foil and altered and like all pimped out and stuff. So you can see what's new and what's old when you see the deck.
I think I heard a story that he also had to like replace some altered cards because his old Elves deck used to be completely altered, so it might have been one of those cards.
He posted a picture on his Twitter, so it's cool to see all these. Yeah, the alters are cool.
Yeah. So going into 6th place, the guy who actually I think has the most Eternal Weekend top 8s combined of all formats in the world.
100%. He has 8.
8. We were talking about Jan having like 3, and yeah, Brian Cowald, he got his 8th. I'm gonna trust you on that, and he played Stiflenaut. And the story I heard about that Stiflenaut is that this was actually like a donation deck list to his stream, and he ended up liking it and being like, maybe I'm completely wrong on this. I have this on second-hand account.
It's a guy called Evran who.
Okay, yeah. Because I had this on second-hand account, and he realized, okay, there actually is something there. And then he went into the deck and worked on it and made it better. And that's also why he didn't post it after Eternal Weekend US, because he really felt like this is a deck. And yeah, it turns out he was right. He managed to get all the way to, well, I guess the quarterfinals with this. And guys, what do we see here? There are too many cards to talk about.
First of all, just to shout out Evran. His name is Harain. I think he's like streamed a little bit recently, and he's quite active in like the legacy communities. And he's been playing this kind of like Esper 2 Phyrexian Dreadnought mid-rangey Dreadnought deck was like for a while. That's where Brian got the idea, and then they obviously talked and changed cards together and stuff. But yeah, I mean, this came out of left field, right?
Yeah.
Brian's choice Eternal Weekend in America was odd. It was like Bug Beans, I think, and he's so good. I'm not going to like doubt it, but that's not what I would expect it at all. As being a good deck in the format, and then this deck just is cool as fuck. What else can you say? Do you want to run us through it?
Yeah. I think he mentioned on one of his last casts that like Consigned to Memory, if you can run this card in the main deck, like you're so far ahead already against like all the Eldrazi and Mystic Forge bullshit. And like dress downs also against Saga tokens. Like I think this deck already has a pretty good matchup against the colorless decks, the format.
True, and Dreadnought just kills so fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So should we just run through the deck, because people listening might not have seen it yet, but because it's just quite different. So it has 20 lands, Esper lands, 3 wastelands notably, and then the creatures, he has 2 Abhorrent Oculus, the Eye. I would never have thought to put this card in the deck, but yeah.
I've actually seen it a couple of times on the weekend.
Yeah. 2 Curie, Emergent Intelligence. So Curie is the one that like combos with Phyrexian Dreadnought to draw 12 cards. You can like staple them together, but I'll let you look it up.
From the Fallout thing, right?
Yes, yeah.
I remember recruiting Curie as a companion in Fallout. That's as much as I can contribute.
Yeah, I've never played it, so I don't know. 2 Dreadnoughts, which is again like very different to what you would think a Dreadnought deck would play for. 4 Psychic Frog, I guess that card's quite good. 3 Tameo, Inquisitive Student. And then you got your blue instance sorceries. 4 Brainstorm, 2 Consign, 3 Days, 4 Force of Will, 1 Lorient Revealed, 3 Ponder, going back on the 3 Ponder, being not great at the moment. 2 Stifle, 4 Swords, 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Dress Down. And in the sideboard, like, it's your usual Esper kind of interaction, but 2 Barragoyfs and a Court of Grace, notably. That's the white court, I believe. It's not loading for me, actually, but
makes interest.
Yeah, that's the one. So again, that's his 4 mana card for the grindy matchups. But yeah, this is cool. I never expected it to do well or him to play it without seeing the deck in action, because I just, it's kind of new and now it's gone because Frog's gone, but very, very cool.
Yeah, in a way, it's another Frog deck, but instead of like leaning on the Reanimator angle, this is more like the grindier thing, and also like the combo thing where you can just like sometimes outright kill somebody if you got the turn 2 combo.
Yeah.
But there's just like so many ways to make Dreadnought work, and I like that.
Yeah. I've seen everyone say that without Frog, like there's no reason to run Esper here. It makes sense, obviously, because it's like the only black card. But the deck probably changes quite a lot now, but it's a very cool approach.
Cool. And then for 7th and 8th place, we have 2 more, actually our first blue-black reanimator decks of the top 8, played by, Callum, you told me you know these 2 guys, right? Because we only have the nicknames here on MTG top 8.
Yeah, so one is nickname and one is his surname. I've forgotten their first names, I'm afraid, but they're 2 Italian guys that were friends with like Matteo Blasi and stuff, so shout out to you.
Yeah, Fabrizio for Cena.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're just saying an Italian name, aren't you?
Fabrizio, sí, claro. And I answer in Spanish.
And
Perfect.
the other guy is he top 8'd, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure I just recognize his hat. He top 8'd Eternal Weekend last year, or won it. He was the Rhinos player in the top 8.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, shit, okay.
I'll need to look it up. I haven't checked the names at all, but I just recognize him, I think.
Oh man, dude, that just reminded me that there was like also like this Rhinos player who almost made top 8 in Pittsburgh, I think, in a metagame where everyone plays Vexing Bauble. It's like, dude, like what is this? What is this guy doing?
That's crazy.
That's wild to me.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no comment there apart from that's crazy. But shout out to the Italians. Like, yeah, if that's him back to back top 8s, it's awesome.
There are a couple of other crazy decks in there, and I opened up.
Did you see the 10th place one?
10th place.
No, sorry.
Control.
It's the 16th place. 16th place.
Wait, how do you know which one is 16th? The Otzatron?
Oh, I'm on MTG top 8, but yeah, Azatron.
Okay, let me open that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not post.
That's not.
Gone. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not as crazy as the other one I opened up, but
Okay.
But hit me.
This is actual Urza. It's not like Cloud Post. It's not like what you're thinking. It does have Planar Nexus. So everyone knows Planar Nexus plus the tower is 4 mana. But this mana base is 25 lands, 4 Planar Nexus, 4 Urza's Mine, 4 Urza's Power Plant, 4 Urza's Saga, 4 Urza's Tower, 4 Urza's Workshop, and a Wastes. It's freaking Urza's deck. It's mud.
It's also trying to legacy straight up.
Yeah. It's just play your cards.
Does it play Expedition map? No,
it doesn't.
No. Who needs that, right?
So the spells are 1 Emrakul, 3 Eldrazi Confluence, which is cool, 4 Kozit's Command, and then 2 Basalt Monolith, 3 Disruptor Flute, 4 Grim Monolith, 4 Khan Great Creator, 2 Manifold Key, 4 The One Ring, 3 Trinisphere,
okay.
2 Ugin the Spirit Dragon, and 4 Vexing Bauble. This is an Urzatron deck. I've never seen this in Legacy before, really.
Who was playing that? What's the name? Merkert. Dude, honestly, I hate how stupid. Okay, MTG Melee, people, just put your proper name on there. I want to know who you are. I want to recognize you. When I see you, I'm not going to look at you and going to be like, you're Merkert. No, my name is Tom. Like, see? That's a name I can recognize. But yeah, okay. Like, what are the odds his name is actually Tom or I don't know. You know which deck I was looking at? Scroll down a little bit further until you get to the Coveted Jewel deck by Jens Platz. What the fuck is going on there? Ghostly Flicker?
That's cool. Yeah. So I wonder if there's
I guess
combo.
you Ghostly Flicker your Coveted Jewel for value?
Yeah.
Can you like get that one back from the graveyard somehow? Because there's just like there's a Phyrexian Metamorph, which I guess you can use to copy the jewel. You can transmute artifact into a jewel. You got copy artifact.
I think it's just a spicy one-off. I don't see.
But how do you win there? Like, are you eventually just going to cast Emrakul by going through your entire deck?
This is like a Tony Schiavone deck. It's dual. It's kind of established from him. But yeah, you make so much mana because you once you go off with the jewels, you transmute them. Then you transmute for a what's called Paradox Engine, and this deck can make 100 mana in like a few seconds.
Oh, there's a Paradox Engine. I was like actually trying to find the Paradox Engine because I thought that's what you need. Okay, and then you can tutor for it. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that before actually.
Yeah,
okay.
So you play the Emrakul, and then you can if you need to attack multiple times, like you're going to draw your deck every turn. It's fine. So you could metamorph the Emrakul, sack 1, shuffle it back in, and then play it again. So I think the deck can quite easily once it goes off. I think it quite easily just goes infinite turns and infinite Emrakul attacks.
I'm looking at the top 8 painter lists, by the way. There's Fur 6, and he's playing 2 copies of Apostle's Blessing in the main. Like what? Like, let me count the sideboard. 6, 7, 10, 15 in the sideboard. And there's nothing in the sideboard that might have been switched. This might legit be 2 Apostle's Blessing in the main, and then Light and Tutor in the main.
2 planes?
2 planes.
It's a wild one.
The fuck is going on here?
I mean, yeah, fair play.
Yeah. Best performing painter deck of the weekend for sure.
I've got a soft spot for Apostle's Blessing, so
yeah, but in the main,
I know.
I mean, you're never gonna expect it, right?
No one will play around it.
Yeah.
But it's
Okay, there's another painter deck, but it's actually not painter. It's just like Moon. No, it actually is painter, but it plays like Broadside Bombardiers, Fury, Pyrogoyf. Oh, I've seen that on Magic. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like
dude, there's so many flavors of painters these days.
Yeah, there's lots of different kinds.
Yeah. I don't really want to go too deep into the metagame because it doesn't really matter all that much anymore now that we have the bannings in. Just like what I found interesting, Joe Dyer has an article on MTG Goldfish, and they aggregated all the results from all the 3 big Eternal weekends. And out of all those decks, the best performing deck, I guess I don't need to ask you guys to guess. If you are at home, you can guess. But that ends up being Forge at, I want to say this is like a 58% win rate.
Yeah, looks like it.
I mean, it's definitely carried by the US results, right? US results had I want to say like 65% on average.
Yeah, but then like everyone was prepared for it completely in Prague, so I think it would have brought it down. But yeah. I don't think it was played so heavily in Prague as expected.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
also not the kind of deck you switch into, like a lot of Delver decks or something.
Yeah, it can be hard to get the cards for it as well.
Also, or want to play. Like, I had the deck available. Thank you to my friend Tom from Belgium, Tom the Decker. He brought the deck, he built the deck, and I was like, dude, I tried it out on Magic Online the days before. I really can't get myself to play it. It's just like, I think I quit the league. But yeah, so overall the only deck, Unknown deck. That was the worst performing deck of all the 3 Eternal weekends. It had like a win rate of 32%.
Oh, rough.
Never register a deck as Unknown deck.
You have to know what you're playing. That's the thing.
Reverse causality, yeah.
On Forge, I think it might be still pretty good. Like Vexian Bauble, it's going to be a little bit weaker to Force of Will, but I think you could just play Defense Grid.
I mean, that's what they used to do, right?
Yeah, I think this deck could still just be quite good. So we'll see.
Yeah, especially also like since in this kind of deck, Defense Grid is really not going to hurt you because you don't really want to play. I guess you have the what's the colorless fireball everybody plays these days. Yeah, that one you might want to play, but
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. By the way, you want to see which deck was actually the worst performing deck? Of the actually named decks, which deck did the worst?
Go for it.
Jeskai Control.
Yeah.
Shortly followed by Beanstalk Control. Like Jeskai Control and Beanstalk Control. Like, this is not a control format. We say that after Raphael went to the finals, but Raphael brought like a very innovative take.
Yeah.
But these hardcore control decks, I don't think that's the place you at least wanted to be until recently. We're in for a big shakeup.
They're just under so much pressure to answer everything so fast, and so Microspawn is just such a beating for control. I don't know what they can do. Like, you play your 4 consigns, hope to have the 3 mana up and be on the play, and I guess you can let a 3/3 resolve, but yeah, it's bad.
By the way, at this point, before I forget it, because you know who were the MVPs of this weekend to me? You can already guess, right?
Drugs.
Yeah, okay. I gotta give it to Painkillers. No, I wanna say the crew.
Oh yeah, Impact Returns.
Oh,
the crew
yes,
of Impact Returns.
Yeah, the guys from Spain.
Inigo and David.
Dude, I keep
holy shit! That kind of work they put in.
I keep calling them like European Anuraks.
Yeah.
Because they really are.
Like at which point can they actually eclipse that? Like, at which point do you stop being the European version of the American guy and just be the most amazing, consistent, quality-wise, like reliable streamers, tech guys in the entire continent?
It was just the 2 of them running it all weekend.
It's 2 people. Okay, that they had some people like doing the commentary and everything, but on site, they had these 2 people, and they got there with a notice of like, I don't know whether I'm supposed to say that, but way shorter notice than you would ever imagine. They got there and they made it work.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hang out with them, I just feel like, dude, there's so much passion in there because you know those guys love Magic Legacy, right? I know Inigo especially, right? And he ends up not playing all these big events, and he hasn't played these big events for a long time just because he's producing coverage, even at Four Seasons, right? I still remember when I first saw I met Inigo many times before, but the first time I saw him streaming was when he was just like sitting behind the scenes at Four Seasons at like this tiny computer and this like cramped back. You know what it's like at Four Seasons, right? And he made it work. And I will never, never, never forget like 2 years ago when he told me, dude, you should see what we have in Spain. And yeah, we went there, we saw what they have in Spain, and this is like GP level coverage, right? When we still had GP, this is what people did, and they are putting it out there. And I'm just so happy that they got hired for this job because this is the best team you can hire in all of Europe. And I talked to the TO a bit about the whole landscape of TOs and like production coverage, everything, and a lot of like places and organizations are actually struggling to put out like quality content, and Wizards has actually parted ways with some organizations over content concerns, over content quality concerns. And it's just so cool to see Inigo and David do this and put out consistent quality throughout the years now. And like, I can see these guys going even bigger, like producing even bigger events. They're like so organized, so well set up, and I'm literally a fanboy of Inigo and David by now. So guys, seriously, it was so great to see you. I wish we could have hung out more. And also thank you for giving me actually no, you gave me a power bank. You didn't give me painkillers. I was already like kind of pain killed at that point.
Yeah,
just fanboy mode off. Sorry, I just love seeing like that kind of production and working. And
the production is amazing. I was watching the replays on the way home and stuff, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Also, shout out to the guys for using all my tokens the entire weekend.
Oh yeah, they told me, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. Yeah, they were like so established, and like big shout out to the crew. Thank you so much.
Also, this was like an official like Wizards event, right? So your tokens now got used in a Wizards event.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like even like between the rounds, I remember like I'm after finishing my rounds, I just browsed a couple of opponents. They got like a little snack or something, and while I was doing that, like I constantly people came to me and they asked me like about my tokens, and I kind of felt like a drug dealer the whole weekend, being like, hey dude, yeah, I got some stuff in my bag. Do you want
ketamine or tokens?
Yeah, dude. That's pretty cool.
I know what I would have wanted. So yeah, that was the legacy side of things. I think we should also quickly touch on the vintage side. At least there were 155 players, by the way, another increase from the previous year, which was 125. It was a lot fewer players than in the US, which had like over 400, and Asia, which had almost 200. But just like seeing the increase from the previous year to now, that's just like that's enough to make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
And for the metagame, I was told that basically everybody was playing Espalurus, and we can kind of see that in the top 8, but that's actually quite varied. There's Initiative, there's Doomsday, Jewel Shops.
Yeah, I played in the event, and the field was really mixed. I think the best news for this event was that there were so many unpowered decks, so many, like Moonstompy, and I think like one of the highlights between rounds was like I watched this table. It was like one of my friends who played an unpowered Buck mid-range deck against another unpowered Buck mid-range deck, dude. And dude, this was
always the most awkward matches.
Dude, this is like the good old like shardless Buck mirror. Like everyone has like Deathrite Shamans. They're like Leo Volts on both sides. They're like, I guess they're
nobody can properly attack.
Yeah, no one can attack. It's like it's like this massive board state for both players, because they also don't run as many removal spells because this is still vintage, right? But the creatures are really powerful, and then you have like frogs on both sides, but like neither player has Time Walker or Ancestral, so like they really only can pull off if like maybe like an Oko or like a random Dig Through Time, maybe, or Treasure Cruise. Dude, it was a delight to watch. Also, they went into time. So.
Yeah, not surprising.
Yeah.
Just to add to people playing non-powered, they also did very well. 1 top 8'd and 6 were in the top 30 or something.
Wait, is Initiative the one, or
yes.
which one?
Yeah, Tilo with Initiative is unpowered.
Cool.
Came in 3rd.
There were also like special prices for unpowered decks, which
Yes.
I think is kind of cool.
And-
We used to always have that, so I'm glad they brought it back.
Oh, me too. I love it. And I don't remember, I think it's quite high. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's quite a lot. So like, for example, Matt Brown from England, he has Bazaars, but it's not very well positioned. So he thought, I'm just going to play Unpowered Bug because I have more chance of getting the unpowered prize than winning with that. So it's worth going for. It's really cool.
Yeah, dude.
It's also like a little bit of like the old school flavor of vintage,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what it used to always be at these big events.
Yeah. The other thing that I kind of didn't realize on is the EV of playing this event was incredibly high because, and now I'm going to try and play next year if they carry on with the top 32 promos, because the promos are worth like, I don't know, very roughly $1,000. And so
yeah, so I was told like the foil promos were like they were selling for up to 4,000 euros, and then later on it sold for like 3,500.
Okay.
And the non-foil ones, I was told at some point were selling for like 700 euros to the dealers.
Yeah, but people were like not taking that because I think it's
Okay.
a bit of a low ball. But some were maybe, I don't know. But it's about $1,000.
Yeah, I got my Tinker at that event, and like
How
dude,
long
I
was it
had
in your
this.
hands?
It was in my hands for roughly 30 seconds.
Wait, did you sell it to a dealer?
Yeah, and then it evaporated, and I got cash.
And then you got
Nice,
drunk
nice.
and you took some more
Dude,
ketamine.
dude,
we
for a
should get,
second I was like,
ketamine
oh man,
sponsorship.
nice. Yeah, I thought like, oh nice, I can play this in my Commander deck, but it's literally banned in every format except Vintage. So
Yeah. I probably would have done the same. But but now for next year, like if there's 155 players, top 32 is hard with unpowered as well. But you're fighting for that top 32 promo and the unpowered prize. Like,
yeah, dude,
it's a lot of secondary
Spin
and
the
third
wheel.
things. It's
dude.
it's really enticing to play. So,
Right.
yeah, very cool.
You might actually sign up like a couple of times under different names. Just like you sign up your friends, you give them like a, I don't know, like a Belcher deck, and like see how far you can go. We'll eventually make it.
All right, try that next year, Julian, and see how far you get.
It's Oops, I Spelled deck. Now, honestly, whenever I play Vintage, I kind of want to play Workshops. I don't know, the card is so powerful, even though I consider myself like a PO player, just because PO is just like, to me, is quintessential busted Vintage. But yeah, whenever you do Workshops, come on, how do you not do that?
Boo. I like Breach.
I just like casting like 2 spheres on the first turn and passing, and then I get wastelanded.
Yeah, that sounds
like,
awesome. I love it. Really fun.
Nice. You had like the most non-game ever.
Yeah, that's the kind of Vintage I want to put on my opponent. Anyway, so the winner, we got Samuel Misty Guts playing Dredge, which we already talked about, right? I think Dredge hasn't really been that big of a deck in Vintage lately.
Yeah.
Even when you look at the sideboards, people don't really respect it all that much.
I'll be honest, my Vintage knowledge is not high enough to know about the metagame shift and stuff, but there's still a lot of Wastelands out there as the kind of gist of Dredge's setting. But you know what? I mean, if you just have some good hands on the day, you can win with Dredge against anything. As far as I know, Samuel is not he hadn't played tons of at least Dredge or Vintage. I was told that he picked up the deck a month or two earlier and just played a lot of Magic Online to prepare. And this was his first Vintage paper event. I could be very off here. This is just secondhand knowledge, but it's especially impressive what I'm getting at.
You know what, to me, like the main reason I wanted to bring this up is because the story of the second place player, Juan Eliso.
Yep.
He played Espalurus, and during the event, somebody told me that he's actually almost blind. Like, Callum, you know a little bit more about this, right?
Yeah, so if anyone plays on Magic Online especially, they'll know J.A. Eliso. This is him. He's been playing on Magic Online for a long, long time. And again, this is secondhand. I didn't meet or play against him, but he didn't used to be blind, and he went blind over the last some amount of years. And obviously it must be awful. So he has someone go there with him, I think helps him shuffle, and before the match starts, they explain, look, I'm helping him out. And then he asks every opponent, every spell they play, every land they play, please announce it as clearly as possible. And then he keeps the whole board state in his mind. It's so unbelievably impressive.
Yeah.
He remembers everything, and he can see cards if they're incredibly close to his face. So he'll look at the cards in his hand and play from that. So he's constructing this ever-flowing game, which is, I don't know, I struggle to play normally anyway. And so then you've got to remember everything in the graveyards, I guess. And so, I don't know, it's just beyond impressive. I don't even have words to say how he can play in paper and do so well. And just, I mean, we've had after a long tournament, you're exhausted at the end of it. Imagine his mental capacity to just go through this and the stamina to get through it as well. So it's crazy.
Especially playing against Stretch, holy shit, that must be so annoying.
That's true. I didn't even think of it like that. Yeah, amazing.
He went all the way to the finals. This is one of the most impressive things I've ever
so Juan,
this reminds me of like when like chess grandmasters they play like 5 matches blindfolded, something like that.
Yeah, and even for a deck like Espelurus, right? Like if I was in his position, I would probably pick a deck that's like relatively fast, easy, or maybe doesn't care about the board, maybe, or like something to make the game easier for you. Like I don't know, like an Oath deck maybe or something like that. But like Espelurus is like, dude, this is the control deck of the format. It's hyper complex with like Bowmaster triggers and like lots and lots of counter magic. You don't have any quick wins with this deck either.
No,
and the mirror games are like just like ridiculously long games. So
he has been playing like Magic Online forever. Like he's just been a household name for me playing this stuff. So he's clearly incredibly good at Magic. So yeah, that's gonna pull you along. And if you have to remember stuff, I guess your brain just forced you to do it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Super impressive. Also, like the rest of the top 8, like lots of known names here, right? At least the ones that jump out to me, like Brian Corwald getting at the double top 8 with Espelurus here. Yeah. Just getting all 4 cards that were up for grabs.
I mean,
must be nice.
What a weekend for him. It's insane. Like double top 8, and I know he got to ID into the top 8 of this one. His semifinals, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I would be like a bit of a heartbreaker if I was in his position. He wins game 1 against Dredge, and then Dredge keeps 7s game 2 and 3 and just runs him over.
Oh.
Yeah.
But winning game 1 against Dredge is such a good feeling, right?
Yeah.
Because you just feel like, come on, just like by the odds, it's gonna work out one of the 2 sideboard games. I have so much hate.
Exactly.
Maybe it doesn't, but
just going off memory, he had like 4 Ixalit Jailer at least, and he's playing a Wasteland deck. So,
I love Jailer so much.
Yeah.
Whenever people have Jailer against Dredge, like as somebody who doesn't get to play a lot of Vintage, whenever I see like Jailer, I feel like, this is the card that they always don't want to see. That's always like the card Dredge players tell me they're not prepared for.
Sorry, I'm lying. I think he had 4 Containment Priests.
That's basically the same.
Similar thing, yeah. Because I forgot that, probably Oath is on your mind. Yeah. Still. Yeah. No, so yeah, great run from Brian. I spoke to him afterwards. He was quite happy with his weekend, so it's okay.
So where's we already mentioned Thilo Schramm in 4th place. Then
Unpowered,
Unpowered Initiative.
Yeah.
5th place we got Oscar Bassard on Jewel Shops. 6th place Cheng Gu on another initiative deck, and then of course we got the double world champion by now, Javier Dominguez on Dimilurus. And Stefan Schütz. I guess Stefan, like, he used to be like one of those, I want to say like legacy randoms who then established himself and became like a really good legacy player, and then became just like a really good Magic player, and who
he's been good
just
forever,
plays legacy. Yeah. He also got like a top 8 at GP, was it Barcelona or something? Playing that
yes, I was there. It was as it were.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, we had such an insane round 6 mirror match.
Oh yeah,
we played against them in the 6th round.
Yeah.
So we're still both live for top 8 at that point.
We were alive. I think we were like 4-1 each or something like that. And oh man, like we split the first 2 games, and then like the third game was like Vintage at its peak. Like we both keep 7, and I open up on like Dark Ritual into Necro Potence.
Nice,
he goes like Force of Will pitch Oracle. I go Force of Will pitch Preordain. I think he Flusterstorms at Force of Will. I Flusterstorm back, and then he has another Force of Will pitch like Preordain or something like that on my Necro, and so like everything gets countered. The dust settles. I have like 1 card left in my hand, which is a Doomsday, which I can also cast next turn, and Stefan has like 2 unknown cards. And like his turn, like he cantrips a little bit and passes back. I cast my Doomsday, it resolves. I have 0 cards in hand and make a pile that beats like Mental Misstep and a couple of other things. Pass back, and then he casts Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutors for his own Necropotence, draws 14 cards, goes all the way down to like 3 life, and then beats me with Ancestral targeting myself. I like targeting me.
Oh, dude.
What a game, dude. I wasn't mad. I wasn't even mad after the game.
You waited 1 hour and 48 minutes to tell the story.
I know. This was probably like the coolest game the entire weekend.
This is like one of those things that's on when you're watching like an anime or something, they stretch it out over like 2 episodes. Just like because it's too hardcore, and people would be like, yeah, this never happens in real life, and yeah, there you are.
That's so cool.
Would you have top 8'd if you had won that game? Could you have like drawn it? No, Stefan is 8th place. I guess he had to play.
Know. Potentially. I wasn't focusing on top 8. I was just focusing on Magic, really. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I usually don't play with, having like top 6.
As long as like there's like you can't draw into it, you just like you sit down and you play a single match of Magic.
Yeah.
Right.
So to add to the fun of Javier and Stefan being 7th and 8th, guess who played round 1?
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. They got paired round 1.
What?
And Stefan won. And then Javier just doesn't lose, so he won the rest.
Just like kind of won out.
Yeah. But yeah, they played round 1. That was like crazy. I went over to watch and I spotted it straight. I was like, holy shit, that's a round 1. It's like, fucking hell. And I think I walked past Tom DeDecker, or maybe it was someone else, and they were like, have you seen the round 1 pairing? I was like, oh shit, yeah. It's so exciting.
But now let's actually get to the most important event of the weekend. Pre-modern event. Callum,
oh shit!
How did you end up taking it down?
Yeah, right.
Or did you?
I thought we were going to talk about the BNR, but now, yes, pre-modern was so fun. I just every time I play pre-modern with goblins, it's so nostalgic to me. It's so fun. So I was completely like, I didn't even know what the prizes were. I didn't even know there was a top 8 that gets played and stuff. I was just like, I'm just going to play my goblins and be completely ignorant and happy. I had someone like in a later round ask me if I'm going to like ID later for money. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just playing. I lost round 1 in a mirror, and then round 2 I get another mirror and like win by the tiniest margin because he sideboarded out a card. He sideboarded out a Goblin King, and it was a classic game of like he was on 1 life and I get to attack with 11 goblins against his 10 blockers kind of thing. So I was a bit shook by the first 2 rounds, but I was just there for fun. And then I lost the 3rd round to like by far the deck's best matchup of elves, because the deck has Mogg Fanatics, Sharpshooter, like Pyrokinesis in the sideboard, and I just drew like absolute dog shit. I was like, yeah, whatever, it happens, like not too upset. But at 1 and 2, I was just like, I'm going to ride it out. But I managed to turn it around to 5, 2 and 1, which is nice. Yeah, that I wish I'd played as well in these later rounds as I did in the Legacy, but I played some tight Magic with them, because goblins, you go to these very long games, it's very grindy. I had some games against like a mono black pit rat deck where I was just like not playing my 1-drops because they're not impactful and they'll just die to removal spells. And like I ended the game with exactly 3 cards in hand on 1 life versus a rack, and I was like, yep, because I didn't play a turn 1 Mogg Fanatic. I won that game and stuff. So it was cool. I had absolute blast, and I just want to play pre-modern again as well every time I do it. And every time I'm like, all right, I want to play all these other decks, but goblins just gets me in every single time. So
wait. Let me go back. You had the foresight to not cast a goblin on turn 1 because you knew your opponent was playing the rack, and that won you the game?
Yeah. So against these like
what level are you playing on, dude?
Well, this is why I love pre-modern so much, because it's completely about the macro. My game plan against these bottomless pit, the rack, curse scroll decks is I have 4 naturalizers and I have 2 like to kill their stuff, and goblin ringleaders and war chiefs with pile drivers for loads of damage out of nowhere. It's like how you win the game. You are the control deck, and you can kill their factories and all their creatures with pyrokinesis and stuff. So you're complete the control deck, and playing a 1/1 is gonna get 2 or 3 points of damage in maybe, and then it'll die to an engineer plague. So it's complete fodder for like discard spells. If they play a rack, it's just the bottomless pit. Sorry, it's more things to discard to that. Or
it's like a shock to their face or something.
Yeah, it's also a way to kill Plague Spitter. So Plague Spitter can be really problematic to kill, but it's a 3-mana 2/2, and when it dies, it does 1 damage to each player and each creature, and every upkeep of theirs, it does 1 damage to each creature and each player. So it can be really hard to get enough goblins in play to then like kill it with a gem palm. So what you can do is, if they have it in play, you play your Mogg Fanatic, and in response to the trigger, you ping it. So it does the damage to itself as well, and everything dies. So I actually got to kill I think it was 1 Hypnotic Spectre, maybe 2, but they had that and a Hypnotic Spectre and another 2/2 in play, and I got to like ping it and then wipe their board just because I kept it in hand for this kind of play. So yeah.
This is the kind of, honestly, I love this kind of Magic, and that usually comes together when there's just like when the aggro decks are not as powerful, right? I want to say, like, if there was like a super powerful aggro deck, or everything was like faster and tighter like it is in Legacy, it's kind of hard to like play the long-term strategic game that way.
I think
I find it so impressive when you do.
I think Goblins is unique in this way that it does have a ton of flexibility on how you can play the deck in this format. But like Sly is a very real deck in the format. But
What's your matchup there?
I like it because I have played it a few times, and the keys to it are like when you play Goblin Matron, you always get Mog Fanatic. Don't get the ringleaders like you're thinking you should do, like classic Goblins. Go and get Mog Fanatic every single time because it kills their Grim Lavamancer, it trades with their Fanatics or whatever. It insulates you against a Ball Lightning, and it's it's a really really grindy matchup. And then like it's
your gain 6 life gain spell kind of.
I mean, they can't play it into a Mog Fanatic until they then use a removal spell on the Fanatic, and you probably get to pick up a Jackal Pup in response to something. And another thing to watch out for there is don't just kill a Jackal Pup immediately, because you can burn them for a ton if you gem palm it, if you have a lot of goblins in play.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Have you ever like killed them that way?
Oh, twice. Once at a pre-modern on Thursday, I got to do it for 5 and then attack. So this is where like when they play Subvert Vortex, it automatically then turns into a race, obviously. And I won pre-modern in London a few weeks ago by doing that in the finals, by burning it for 4. And then I also did it, at pre-modern on Thursday in Prague at their local store. Do it for 5 and then attacking with hastes for just
seriously
enough.
If anyone's listening and I've been like speaking the gospel about like how amazing pre-modern is, like just listen to this man talk and the thing he does in pre-modern. Just like it's gonna win you over for sure.
It's so fun. Like again, I do think there's just a ton of depth to every deck in the format. Like the games go very long, but you need to understand the macro of the matchup quite often. Like, some one person sideboard card can like really shut you down if you're not expecting it. Like Goblins needs to side into naturalizers very often because enchantments and artifacts are so powerful in the format. You've got the replenish decks with like Parallax Waves and Tides and stuff. Everyone's playing tons of Engineer Plagues, obviously. Like I side out Goblin Lackey over half the matchups, I think, which is also a bit unintuitive. But like every sideboard card is ready for Goblins and Lackey and stuff. So yeah, I had a blast. I just like swept through playing it. I played against tons of really cool decks and stuff. Every time I play against Exalted Angel and Mastercore, my heart's just like, oh, I love this. I often lose to them, but like, God, those two are some of my favorite cards as well.
They have Urza's Legacy foil Masticores. Oh,
yeah.
That's just another level.
I haven't played against a foil one, but like Mastercore and Exalted Angel being legitimately good in the format.
Like there are people who have a kink of just want to be pinged by Masticore, by foil Masticore.
Oh, you can't be pinged by Masticore. You can be hit for 4.
Yeah, but like if they have Jackal Pup, I guess.
Sure. My kink is my Jackal Pup being hit by Masticore.
Yeah. They will go extra length to make it work.
Yeah. But yeah, I actually forgot about pre-modern. I don't know how. As you can hear,
who or which deck won?
Yeah, Rexo won. So Recurring Nightmare Survival.
Oh, fuck you. Seriously?
Dude, it has like Great Whale in the main deck and Palinchron.
Are you fucking for the infinite combo, kind of?
I guess I haven't actually looked exactly.
I think people like use like Palinchron or something, or Great Whale does the same, right? Untaps until
so
like 7
you
or 8
can get
lands.
infinite mana with them. Because if you have over 4 lands, I guess it's infinite mana because you can keep playing the
Great fucking Whale from Urza's Saga.
Yeah. So yeah, Rexo
good 7-drop.
I'm almost there. This is getting like a really weird podcast now, but yeah.
Yeah, so dear listener, as you can hear, we're like just gushing about pre-modern a bit. It's a beautiful thing. It's so fun.
We're gonna get all kinds of other weird kinds of sponsorship requests in the future.
I've decided on my next deck to build. I'm gonna build a Exploration Horn of Greed deck. But how it's gonna
Turboland, Landho.
Turbolands, yeah. But like I remember having it as a kid with Crozen Reclamation. Yeah,
Crozen Reclamation.
It was like it was a 5 mana 3/3 and Threshold. It became a 6/6, something like that. But I'm not going to play that. Don't worry. I'm trying to think of like the cool ways to kind of go off or win. I've played it with Upheaval, and then you Upheaval, and then play 2 Black Vices, and the opponent.
Are you talking
dies.
about the guy who makes like extra insect tokens when a land comes into play?
No.
Because that's like a really expensive guy who does that.
Deranged Hermit.
No, that one I would know about.
I'm not sure.
Crozen something. Maybe. I don't know.
It's a bad card that used to be played in Turbolands, but now...
So if you're on the Discord, let us know, because our Discord knows a lot of bad cards.
It's true. Tom the Deck is going to be listening now like, Callum, you idiots. It's Crozen this.
Yes.
So yeah, you can go like Upheaval for 2 Black Vices, and then they just die to the triggers because they've got 20 cards in hand. Or Brian Koval, not Brian Koval, I think maybe it's Koval, but like spelled Kowal. Someone on Blue Sky recommended to play this deck with Future Sight. How sick does that sound? With like Exploration, Horn of Greed, and Future Sight. So I'm gonna go in that direction next. But Goblins.
Apparently, there are only 19 cards with Crozen in it, so we can actually figure this out. Because I actually want to know, but maybe I'm wrong. So what does it do? It has Threshold, you say?
I'm trying to find it now.
There's no Threshold, dude.
Maybe I'm just making...
Oh, there's one. Crozen Avenger?
Crozen...
Regenerate Crozen Avenger? No, that's not the one.
No. You know what?
Oh, the Crozen Beast. 4 mana, 1/1, and when you have Threshold, it turns into an 8/8.
No, it's not that either.
I kind of was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, we have Great Whale and Recurring Nightmare. Like, I'm not gonna play any vanilla Crozen Beasts. It's probably not a Crozen creature.
Sorry, it's not Crozen, it's Battlefield Scrounger.
Okay, I have no idea what that is, and I feel bad for it.
It used to be played in like Turbolands a long time ago.
5 mana, 3/3, Threshold. Put 3 cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Battlefield Scrounger gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Activate only once, and only if 7 or more cards. That's so terrible, that card.
It's a 5 mana 6/6, and you get to rebuy lands.
Until end of turn, right?
Yeah, but you do it loads. Like, if you're playing Turbolands, you've got loads of shit in your graveyard.
Wait, but why?
And you can rebuy your wastelands, put them back in the bottom of your library, and go through it again.
Oh, that's the idea. You want to put the stuff back into your library.
Kind of, but it's also
it's not about having like a 6/6.
It kind of was as well.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was played with Oath sometimes. Like, you Oath into this, and then
you're making me ever more curious.
But like, if you Oath into this, then you Oath again, your whole graveyard's in your librry, but then you can just like Demonic Tutor every turn.
Okay, honestly, I feel like I'm a young boy again who has no idea how Magic works. That's the beauty of pre-modern sometimes.
Pre-modern, you can go deep. You can go do some crazy stuff.
Yeah. You have time.
So from memory, for the rest of the top 8, there was 1 Goblins in the top 8, which is kind of like a classic, very close to what I play, like red-green. There was apparently one Dead Guy player who top 8'd, but I think I saw 1 or 2 other people playing Dead Guy, or maybe like Esperish kind of mid-range stuff. But yeah, black-white mid-range cards are pretty powerful in the format as well. There was like Angry Elves, or like, survival with anger and stuff, and Priest of Titania, so that's pretty cool. What else was there? There was one Replenish, I think. There was another deck called Flippy, which I was told about the deck there, so I'm not the person to talk to about it, but it's called Flippy because I think one of the figureheads in the kind of pre-modern community, especially in Europe, I think he made it, but it's kind of like blue-white, mid-rangey tempo with like Weathered Wayfarer and stuff.
Is he German?
I don't know. I'm not sure, I'm afraid. Like, I'm just in my little bubble of enjoying goblins, but there's I just saw in the pre-modern kind of like a Facebook group, people were really excited that top 8'd as well, so that's pretty cool.
Cool. Kakai, do you own a pre-modern deck?
Oh man, dude, I gotta start from scratch. I think I have the basics, maybe.
Basics in the Great Whale.
Yeah, dude, I actually do have a playset of Great Whales.
Ooh,
even.
you're
Yeah,
gonna need one, buddy.
Dude, it's like it's my commander pile of things, but
actually, let me guess. Great Whale. I actually don't know who painted it, but I want to say RK Post.
I don't think so.
Actually, I'm gonna look it up. Great Whale. This is turning into a live stream now. No, it's Bob Eggleton.
Yeah, like the guy who also painted Gilded Drake, for example. Like he painted a lot of drakes in dragons and all that stuff.
Did you know that Great Whale was actually on the reserved list?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Now you do.
Yeah.
And it's 20. No, it's €8. Okay.
Dude, it's a solid fatty. Like it generates a bunch of mana.
Yeah, that's what you want your 7 mana drop to do, right?
Honestly, I don't think that many people care about him being a creature.
I'm so sad for the guy. Also, the artwork doesn't really make all that much sense. Like, this is clearly shallow water, and there's a Great Whale in it. Anyway, I also have no idea how he produces mana.
One final last pre-modern hype. So there's this event in America called LobsterCon, and it's the North American Pre-Modern Champs. There's 320 players signed up, sold out in 4 hours.
I read about that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Even the local players here who are like not really into traveling, but they play like it's old school. You said, right?
Pre-modern.
Wait, LobsterCon is pre-modern.
I think they must do old school there as well, probably.
But they must do because
Sure,
I know some local players who like they basically almost never travel, but they constantly throughout the entire year always speak about LobsterCon.
Okay,
And that's where they want to go. So yeah, not surprised that it sold out that quickly.
yeah, it's very cool.
Are you gonna go? Like you sounded like you kind of want to.
No.
No.
I don't play it enough to like kind of travel across America for
Okay.
it. But,
Okay.
yeah.
So guys, before we close it out here, there was actually something that happened today, and it's kind of yeah. I saw it like it's 5 p.m. something. Wizards dropped. It's not exactly the bomb. Like they certainly dropped a bomb on Modern. Like Modern is basically like a wasteland now. People have to rebuild every society from scratch.
Shit.
Yeah. But I'm all for it. I'm also like surprised that I was one of the guys who was always like obnoxious about why is Green Sun Senate actually banned in Modern? Why is that? Are you really sure? And yeah, it turns out no, it's not supposed to be banned because we are no longer doing stuff like casting turn to Primeval Titan and everything. That's what we did back in PT Philly, 2011. I wanna say. But now this is Legacy, and for Legacy, if you haven't heard yet, Psychic Frog is banned and Vexing Bobble is banned. And I want to say those, if you were a betting man, I think the most likely bet would have been Just Frog being banned. But the second most likely thing would have probably been these two banned and nothing else. I want to say, at least that was my impression.
I think everyone knew Psychic Frog was kind of a shoe-in. I would have also said Vexing Bobble was probably more likely to be banned than not. Just because like the community sentiment and results are saying like we probably want more than one ban. For me, these two I think is the bare minimum. I totally see it, and I think things will change, and I'm okay kind of seeing how things come out, but I'm not surprised in the slightest. And there's a lot of people now being like, yeah, so obviously it was just going to be these two, but I'm still a bit disappointed. Like I'm incredibly hyped for Modern. So in a local to me Discord, people were like, don't take the bait. It's just trying to appeal to 2015 players. I am that 2015 Modern player, and I am taking the bait. I'm building Lantern again, and Dredge and stuff. I'm very excited for Modern, and it feels like they gave such a huge bone to Modern. Like I watched a video from Aspiring Spike the other day, and he said they need to do more than just ban the ring and a couple of other cards. They need to make players excited for Modern again, and they have absolutely nailed it with this. Maybe in a month we find out that unbanning Mox Opal was a terrible idea, but I think this is the biggest BNR Modern has ever had by far. Like it's completely unprecedented to have they've only unbanned Golgari Grave Troll in the past, I believe, and then they had to ban it again. So unbanning these 4 cards is just crazy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think, everyone's excited for Modern now. We'll see how it shakes out. It could go wrong, but I love them experimenting with it. And I'm very happy that even if Mox Opal might need to be banned again, I'm happy they did it. I'm happy for them to try. And I want them to do it with Legacy. And I saw a tweet today from Dan Musser. Someone was having a conversation with him, and someone said, it was Justin Gennari. Justin said, I'm very excited to see all the excitement about Modern. Great choice, blah, blah, blah. And Dan said, yeah, we've got to start with somewhere. So that kind of hints that it could happen to Legacy at some point in the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. By the way, we should throw in Dan as the guy at Wizards who wrote the explanation for why certain cards were banned, at least in Legacy.
Good point.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah,
so
he did Legacy and Vintage. Yeah.
Yeah. So if he says that there's some, not necessarily weight behind it, but some recognition for, hey, the players like it this way. Yeah.
So that could lead to more things. I think in what they said about Modern. I know I'm going about Modern, and we want to talk about Legacy, but I think they are quite. I think they are quite intertwined because how they're approaching Modern. Again, this is unprecedented, and it could feed into Legacy. And I do think it is a bit of a small floodgate opening to future unbans in Legacy. So
honestly, the thing you want to say the entire time is, when are we gonna unban Deathrite Shaman, right?
I want the bad cards unbanned first. I want them to take all the Earthcrafts and stuff. I think Survival of the Fittest is banned. But unban it. Bad, not banned. It is banned. I can't talk. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
That's the word you're looking for. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's bad.
I still remember the day, dude, seriously. I remember the day when we were trying to always quote unquote hack the Wizards website by like changing the URL to find the header of the new announcement. So people were like trying around numbers and dates and everything. And on the day that we knew something is probably going to happen to Survivor Vengewine, we go there and we play around. Eventually, we find the banner of the upcoming announcement, which was not public yet. And the banner is Survival of the Fittest. And
your heart
at
drops.
that moment, something died inside me because I knew a couple of hours from now, this is what was going to happen. It's just like, I don't know, man. Like if I only have like terrible comparisons because all of those things are much worse than your favorite card getting banned. But yeah, something died inside.
But we'll see. So my feeling on legacy things is, Psychic Frog was a shoe-in. It needed to go. It was too good. It made.
Can we please acknowledge my pain for at least 1 second? Anyway, you guys go on.
Yeah, you weren't going to talk about it. Well, Psychic Frog being banned is your pain.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking. Yeah.
This was the shoe-in. Like the worst thing was how good a fair plan it gave the blue-black reanimator decks. Like you just couldn't even sideboard Fairy Macabre or Surgical because you feel so stupid when they play a turn 2 Frog. And so Troll is kind of still going to make you feel a bit silly, but like, at least you're not going to die to a Frog with there. Vexing Bauble, I am a complete believer in like when Delver is one of the best decks, as long as it's not too busted with like a Psychic Frog or a Dreadhorde Arcanist drawing cards, it's such a good top deck to have. I think Daze and Force of Will keep the format in check, and Vexing Bauble turning them off is just why the Forge decks have been so strong. So I'm not surprised to see it banned. It's just, even if it didn't have the numbers to back it up, it's not a healthy or a fun thing to really have in the format, in my opinion. Like I was playing 4 of in Painter and stuff, and I don't know, I'm just not a fan of this kind of effect. So when it was spoiled, our whole London chat thought it was a fake and someone was trolling us. So like,
gosh.
I don't know. I don't think anyone's going to shed a tear. I think within a week, everyone's going to forget this card existed. So
I think so, yeah.
For me, the biggest miss is Nadu. I know they've said they're going to keep an eye on it, but for me, it seems like a very obvious outlier now. It's just the top 3 decks were Psychic Frog decks, Nadu decks, and Bauble / Kozit's Command kind of colorless decks. And Nadu just is going to be the best thing for the next 3 months and be banned in the next one, is my gut feeling.
So you're saying we should actually short Nadu? Actually, no. Nadu isn't even all decks.
It's worth nothing now, dude.
Yeah. Kind of like the One Ring kept going down in Modern, right? Because everybody like knew a year ahead of time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could be wrong, of course. Every single time, every time you have an opinion, you could be wrong. But I think Nadu is, it has the Zenith and the Chord and the Breakfast versions. Like, they're all very difficult and hard to interact with. Some Breakfast one, do you want Graveyard Hate? Oh, they just side out the Cephalids like half the time. So you're kind of guessing in the same way that, like, does the blue-black deck side into Barrogoyfs or keep in the combo? It's similar there. And then, the Chord and the Bant ones, at least you can play, like, Containment Priests or Grafdigger's Cage. But some of them have the Delighted Halfling and Teferi, so your Red Blasts are kind of hard to interact with their combo. I don't know. I think we'll see more Pith Needle effects because of, to name Nomads and stuff. That's one way to kind of fight it, but they just play Prismatic Endings, and all of them side into like a hard control mid-rangey deck so well. And the core deck is so fast and so resilient as well. As you can hear from me, I'm worried about Nadu, and I think it's going to be a problem. Right. And we should shoot the bird, but hey, there we go.
Maybe people should play more Damping Matrix, maybe, or like some weird cards. Like the other day, I was thinking about like Knight of Souls Betrayal. It's like this ridiculous.
Wait, the 4-mana legendary enchantment.
It says all creatures get -1/-1.
Yeah,
so
it's like they play like Force of Vigors and Teferi and like. Yeah.
Are we actually talking about Knight of Souls? Like I thought you were gonna go for Knight of like as a creature. Like no, of Souls Betrayal.
Yeah, dude.
I love the creativity, by the way.
Thank you. It's probably
did you know that it was legendary?
I liked it. Of course, as everything else from Kamigai was legendary. Right?
Is there actually any other legendary enchantment?
Oh, there's got to be loads.
Oh, good question.
Oh, by now, I guess.
I guess you can count the world enchantments as legendary.
I mean, we do.
I can't. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I like the effect, hate the mana cost.
Yeah, much. Sure.
But yeah, like I'm definitely also worried. I think we might see more like Grafdigger's Cage maybe, and some other stuff. But yeah, like I'm a little worried too. But at the same time, I don't know. Like I think Legacy is also pretty good at fixing itself. So
it could be. It could be. I could be just getting worried about nothing.
Right, like
I just don't think I am.
Like who knows, right? Like maybe it's like the consigned to memory thing, like we saw like last month. Maybe if everyone starts playing like Graph Digger's Cages and Containment Priests and other stuff too, or like Damping Matrix again, like maybe we can kind of soft check this deck a little bit, or maybe we play combo decks that are faster.
Yeah, I just think because there's these 3 versions, it's. I mean, maybe if 1 or 2 come out ahead and they share some similarities, but like Breakfast and Zenith, I would side very differently against. Just for my example as painter, like I don't want Fury anywhere near a Cephalid Breakfast deck, but you need it against the Zenith ones. I don't know.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
and also like against the Delighted Halfling, I need to have Fury or Lightning Bolts to kill it, otherwise I can't counter Nadu. But yeah, it's they're very different. But this is just my experience with painter. But I think Nadu is also almost like half to blame alongside Sowing Microspawn for pushing control out. Like it's just such a easy thing to assemble, like the Nomads plus Nadu, and then you play a Nadu often with a Teferi or like an Allosaurus Shepherd or whatever out, and then they need to kill the Nomads in response because otherwise it just draws 6 cards, whatever. I just think the shell is too good. I could go on for a while, so we'll see. What do you think, Julian?
Did you know that Necro Dominance is legendary?
Yeah,
dude.
Today I learned.
I think there's quite a lot of legendary enchantments.
149, but I don't really count most of them because they're also like creatures or artifacts.
Okay.
I'm looking for just like straight up vanilla ones.
Anyway,
I agree with everything you just said.
Okay, cool. Did you listen to anything?
I did. I actually do agree. No, seriously. Like, I mean, it's the worst kept secret, right? That the only reason that they didn't really ban Nadu is because it has been a more recent development legacy than like the Psychic Frog thingy. But I think over time, unless something happens, I don't know, like you talked about how resilient it is, how like it's so hard to sideboard against. And that's usually the hallmark of like a deck that's maybe not always like super obvious that it needs something banned, because people are like, well, you can beat the combo, right? There are so many ways to stop it. And that's also like the meme about like Cephalid Breakfast dies to every kind of hate. But the backup plan is just like good enough by far. And it's so also like so hard to stop when they I guess when you don't have your own proactive thing. Like this kind of deck really keeps out anything that's a little bit slower and sluggish, which I think is a good thing. But overall, I'm also not too keen on having like Nadu around. Yeah. But I'm willing to give it like another couple of months, even if half a year, and then we will see. I think kind of was like, no, please don't.
I think within a month and a half or 2 months, people are going to be exhausted and over it, and it'll be banned in the March BNR.
So what's the mirror match like? Is it terrible?
Probably. It sounds absolutely awful to me.
Yeah.
Because like they all have like Allosaurus Shepherd and Sylvan Safekeepers like protect it as well. So you need a sweeper, but like they can just play Nomads and Nanticoid in the same turn. I just like there's no perfect answer to this shell basically because it's too good. It had 3 in the Eternal Weekend from Prague as well already.
Maybe the idea is to fast combat.
Could be, but like, yeah, maybe.
Kai, help me out. What's Doomsday like against this?
Like it's pretty much 50-50. Like,
really?
The Cradle one kills turn 3 quite often. Like it can. It's so fast.
It's really fast. They also sometimes play like things like Endurance, like which is kind of annoying. Sometimes Consigned to Memory. Like one of my favorite cards against that deck is Flusterstorm because it counters all the green suns, all natural orders. If they play Force of Will, then also Force of Will and Consigned to Memory too. So like, it counters basically everything I care about except Endurance, which is pretty cool. So but generally speaking, not the biggest fan playing against Nadu. I'd rather play against something else.
Yeah, but I know I'm being a bit of a doomer here, so we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong, but
yeah,
Frog going kind of like opens up like where does Tempo go now? People are saying Lightning Bolt's back, but it's not back if people are playing Nomads and Nadu, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, true. That's actually embarrassing.
Yeah, against both of them. Like, okay, you target my Nomads, I'll redirect it to my Birds of Paradise that's done its job and doesn't kill Nadu. So I don't know what you're doing with Lightning Bolt, but maybe it'll come back a bit. So yeah, I guess.
What about Eldrazi? Isn't Eldrazi gonna? Well, I guess they don't have.
So this is an interesting thing because I think Eldrazi like didn't lose anything apart from Ball, but it can play Chalice again. But Moonstompy is back. Frog was
it ever gun?
Yeah, Frog was keeping it down big time. It just couldn't beat a Frog most of the time. So I think Moonstompy is a ton better now. Like, it had to play Vexing Bauble over Chalice because it needed to Pyroblast the Frog. But now, obviously, it can't play Vexing Bauble because it's banned, but it wants to play Chalice if that didn't line up by that. So Moonstompy will play Chalice again, and Blood Moon is incredibly good against Eldrazi. So I think despite Eldrazi not being touched, it might actually get a little bit worse if Moonstompy is played in high enough numbers that we think. So that could play out like that. It's an interesting point in the meta, but Eldrazi also kills people turn 3 sometimes. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
So what are you guys going to be down to? Like, what does this mean for Painter? Can I keep playing Painter? I mean, we're going to probably change it up quite a bit. We have now like 3 to 4 extra slots.
Yeah, I think Painter's worse. Not because we don't have Bauble. I don't think it really changes the deck that much. Like, it made us a bit better against some combo decks, but every single combo deck had like Vexing Bauble flashing on a huge screen right in front of their eyes to beat it anyway. So Frog going is kind of bad for us because, you know, Blast is so good against it. So we don't like... Nadu can be close. Moonstompy can be a coin flip. I think it's a bit of a rough spot for Painter, actually. And I don't know if it's because of splash damage or anything. It's just like how to build the deck now. I'm not really sure.
Well, that's why I got you.
Yeah. Well, I think Furies are absolutely back in the main deck. Not just because...
Very much so.
Not because Bubble's going, but you need to kill the Moonstompies and the Eldrazi's and stuff like that. So I'm just going to start with like 3 main deck Furies, 2 or 3 main deck Bolts, and try and kill some creatures. And go a bit more mid-rangey again, I think, is my level 1. Khan's kind of out, and Khan and like kind of Forge Hate is out until I see people playing it again. And I think Reanimator is just worse now, like because you don't have the Frog plan. I don't think it'll be a tier 1 deck, but we'll see. But now you can fight it, so I'm going to wait until it actually is played, which probably is week 1 is probably the best time to play it because everyone's going to cut back on. I guess they didn't play Grave of Hate anyway. I have no idea. But yeah, we'll see. I think Painter, how you build it, really takes... You need to know what the format is like because you can build it so differently.
Yeah, it's the same for Doomsday too. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested if people are going to pick up more Pyroblasts maybe moving forward. If that's the case, then I have to cut Jay's Field of Mysteries, dude. Such an embarrassing 4-drop to resolve under that. It's pretty much impossible, right?
Yeah.
Pyroblast. So so if both Pyroblast and Constant Memory become more popular in fair blue decks, then I gotta think about something in Doomsday because there are not many cards that beat both. Because
I think people didn't go to Pyroblast to kill a Frog because you wanted the clean blue-black mana base and Fatal Push did it. So Blast just weren't as popular, but now, obviously, you want Blast for Nadu, kind of. If it lines up, it lines up only half the time, I think. So they might not do it. It also depends where tempo goes. It could be Grixis. It could be straight blue-red again. There could be a little.
But I think but overall, I'm super happy with this announcement. Like I'm curious about Legacy, what's going on, and Modern's just the fucking Wild West. So
yeah, again, my thing is if they just ban Nadu, I'd be happy. But now. I think it's just risky. But we'll see.
Yeah, but I think overall Wizards has always been like on the side of caution when it comes to bannings, except for like whatever they did in Modern right now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's just it feels like maybe they didn't want to upend both formats at the same time. The thing is though, I think I'm just saying I wanted like one more ban in Legacy, which is Nadu. And then I think a lot of people would have been happy. People were calling for a lot more, and there's a lot of cards which I would have liked to be banned. I think a better format would have come from it. But I think my feeling was Frog, Bauble, and Nadu was like the minimum of what people wanted. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So should we move on actually to the most important part of the recent ban list announcement? And I looked into this, and I seriously can't make up my mind about this, but David Finseth provided some of the reasoning why there were actually no changes to the timeless format. Guys, do you see anything happening to Phantasmal Shieldback?
Yeah.
Flare of Denial?
Yeah, that one, I really thought that they were thinking about it a lot.
Yeah. Timeless Brawl, definitely.
Yeah. Gigantha was banned in Explorer, I think.
Yeah, but apparently Explorer is pegged to Pioneer.
Yeah.
But I have no idea how all of this works.
It is. Hey, you've bitten off more than you can chew here. I knew I'd get you.
I gotta confess, like I don't even know what's legal in Explorer.
You know what we're gonna make? We're gonna have a game in some of the future podcasts.
Oh
where
no, dude!
We just we come up with random names for formats, and then the other two hosts have to guess whether that's actually a Wizard Sanction format or not. Yeah. We will see about that, because you could have totally told me that Timeless is a format, and I would have been like, no way, dude.
I'm just gonna say it now, I will destroy you two at that game.
Frontier.
You two
What
have
about
no
Frontier?
idea.
Dude, what's the Frontier situation right now?
Frontier?
Dude, Frontier used to be a format.
No, it used to be a format that dealers created because they wanted to sell their kinds of Chucky cards or something.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't remember which one that was though. So
yeah, we will see. Guys, I think we're going to call it a day here. Do you have any more shout-outs from the weekend? Because, by the way, I want to say this. I met so many people who said hello for the podcast, for any kind of content we did, I did, whatever. Just I felt so sorry because I really had, physically I had a terrible weekend. Emotionally, I had a great weekend. But I really couldn't hang out with people as much as I wanted to, just because of the circumstances. But thank you so much, and this is one of the greatest things to ever happen, when people just hey, cool, listen to the podcast, or even just they're excited about Legacy and everything, and I'm so happy you said hello, even if I didn't have a lot of time sometimes, or mental capacity.
I'm the same. I really enjoyed meeting everyone. Special shout out to Hunter and Connor, patron Discords, who we went for dinner with on the last night. Really, really fun meeting you guys and hanging out and stuff. But also, yeah, everyone that came up to say hello. It was just nice. In the past, at events, I've been a bit more focused on the playing, and I got a bit stressed, talking to a lot of people. This time I was a lot more chill and stuff, and I had a great fun. So at other events and in the future, please do say hello, because I enjoy it.
I got to meet Kinda for the first time.
Hell yeah, Patrick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, just walked by as I was already leaving, but that was great.
The biggest tragedy was he didn't get to meet Justin, or Justin didn't get to meet Kinda, because Kinda maybe trolls the Vintage Discord daily, and Justin at the end was like, Callum, who the fuck is Kinda? I need to know who terrorizes me every day. And he'd gone already.
Awesome. So if you're not trying the community and hang out or just say hello on the Discord, or apparently you guys went for dinner, that's amazing. You can support us on everyday-eternal.com, but you can leave a review on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you want, at your local library. If they stock Everyday Eternal, they might in the future. We should release on tape one day, vinyl, something. Also on patreon.com/everydayeternal. Just like all of our many supporters, especially our Eternal Witness tier, Franco Boli, Kane, Colin Garassi, Alex Crow, Tim Everett, Testacular, Sebastian Holager, Guillaume, Sean Dewey, Stephen Bush, Jim Monolith, Francis Cowper, Cassandra Davis, Reto Scherer, Connor Clark, Tristan Mayshark, Tom Zischka, Benedikt Gruber, and Severin Schwarzhuber, and our untimely malfunctioned here, Evan Lazar, Tom Happ, Harry Houdini, MTG, Ian Seefeld, Joe Brennan, and Colonoscopy. Thank you so much for everybody. Also, many of you for saying hello at the event, and see you again, I guess, next year? We were talking about this, right? We kind of want to make an award show we did 2 years ago.
Let's do
And
it.
after punt of the year, Kai for getting to book a flight. Something like that. I look into it. So everybody, see you, have a great holiday, and see you on the other side.
Ciao.
See ya.